This audiobook is a non-profit fan adaptation of the web novel Comprehension Ability, creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability, creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 34. Through the Ages, 8,000 words. Please subscribe. Can't push it. Lin Yuan frowned. The force he used to push the heavenly gate was not his full strength. But what was Lin Yuan's power? The 50th realm of the witch ancestor. And a witch ancestor of the 50th realm, with each realm in complete perfection. Even if he used only a 10th, or even a 100th of his strength, it was enough to utterly suppress and thrash the 4 divine kings and other 11th rank complete legendary lives. And now he couldn't move the heavenly gate? There's a problem. Lin Yuan withdrew his hands, carefully observing the heavenly gate before him. The force he had just exerted was perhaps tens of thousands of times that of the native witch emperors and witch ancestors, yet he couldn't budge the heavenly gate at all. So, how did the native witch emperors and witch ancestors manage to open the heavenly gate and then enter it in the past? Lin Yuan's thoughts diverged, and after pondering for a moment, he decided to try pushing the heavenly gate again. Placing his palms flat on the gate, Lin Yuan centered himself and quietly closed his eyes. "Open for me." The originally calm Lin Yuan suddenly opened his eyes, a terrifying aura bursting forth instantly. The air around him nearly solidified, his potent blood energy surging like a vast ocean, making the entire mountaintop seem as if it were teetering on the brink, ready to collapse under the force of Lin Yuan's outburst. All-out effort. This was the first time in 200 years that Lin Yuan had gone all out. Since stepping into the 20th realm of the witch ancestor, Lin Yuan had never unleashed his full power because there had been no adversary worthy of such respect. Rumbling thunderously, the terrifying blood energy was boiling like scorching magma. Beneath the summit, many watching powerhouses from the Myriad clans were trembling uncontrollably in their souls. The aura that Lin Yuan released at this moment, compared to his earlier scuffle with the 4 divine kings, was absolutely different, terrifying beyond measure. What kind of power is this? The human blood rain just suppressed the 4 divine kings and didn't even use his full strength. The mighty 4 divine kings and 6 other 11th rank perfect lives, not only crushed by a human powerhouse, but also without forcing him to reveal his true methods. The shock among the Myriad tribe's powerhouses can be imagined. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't have believed that in this 2-dimensional world that suppressed everything, a powerhouse could elevate their strength to such a level. And that it was a human evolver? Still can't push it open? Even after giving his all, Lin Yuan still couldn't move the heavenly gate before him. The amount of power I'm currently unleashing could penetrate this heavenly mountain beneath my feet, yet I can't open this heavenly gate? Lin Yuan found it absurd. If the heavenly gate was truly so difficult to open, then how did those native witch emperors and witch ancestors who managed to open it explain it? Could it be that this heavenly gate distinguished who was pushing it? Was there a different standard for powerhouses from the Myriad clans pushing the heavenly gate compared to the native powerhouses? Even if the standards were different, with Lin Yuan's current power, he should have reached the threshold, right? I don't believe, with my current power, I can't open this mere heavenly gate. Lin Yuan's expression turned solemn, and having used almost all conventional methods, he was left with only the moves he would use in a life-and-death situation. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan was sitting cross-legged, and everything happening in the 2-dimensional world was no different from what his real body underwent. Divine skill. Strengthening. Lin Yuan whispered, and in an instant, deep within his body, the divine ability imprint belonging to this strengthening, divine skill began to spread pervasively, enveloping his flesh, soul, and everything else. In the 2-dimensional world, where all supernatural methods were suppressed, including physical body divine abilities. Thus, the Taiyang divine spirit in the 2-dimensional world couldn't activate any physical body divine ability. However, his real body outside the 2-dimensional world could. The strengthening divine skill, once activated, would enhance everything about Lin Yuan tenfold, including his physical body, soul, spirit, will, and so on. And while the Taiyang divine spirit in the two-dimensional world was isolated physically and spiritually, the spirit will was not. This meant that once Lin Yuan's true body activated this strengthening, divine skill, the spirit will of the Taiyang divine spirit in the two-dimensional world would increase tenfold. Even though spirit will could not directly increase strength, it allowed more precise control over power, which could then unleash greater strength. Why do 11th rank powerhouses among the Myriad clans rise so much faster and grow quicker than those of the 9th and 10th ranks? Own realm was one factor, a strong spirit will was another. Therefore, the dramatic increase in Lin Yuan's spirit will significantly boosted his strength, rumbling thunderously. Accompanied by a tenfold increase in Lin Yuan's spirit will, the quasi-ethereal blood and fire surrounding him seemed to emanate an even more terrifying aura. At that moment, the many Myriad tribes' powerhouses watching from the mountainside were so shocked they were rendered speechless. To them, Lin Yuan felt even more majestic and imposing than the heavenly mountain beneath their feet, as if he were about to break the many constraints of the two-dimensional world and break free. A moment later, the aura emitted by Lin Yuan gradually retracted. Even after using the physical body divine ability strengthening, he still hadn't shaken the heavenly gate in the slightest, let alone opened it. After using the physical body divine ability strengthening, Lin Yuan would experience a brief period of weakness. Yet, to the many Myriad tribes' powerhouses at the mountainside, this so-called weakness was barely noticeable, as he only temporarily fell from the Witch Ancestor 50 realm to the Witch Ancestor 45th realm. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 34. Through the ages, 8,000 words. Please subscribe. _2. And for those amongst the Myriad tribes' powerhouses, there was no difference between the two. As for the main body outside the two-dimensional world, the Taiyin primordial spirit, it was not in a dangerous environment, and likewise, it was unhindered. Still can't push it open? Lin Yuan's expression was silent as he stared at the heavenly gate before him, frowning in deep thought. If even with all his methods deployed, he couldn't open the heavenly gate, then which of the powerhouses from the Myriad tribes within this two-dimensional world could? I am at the Witch Ancestor 50 realm, which is equivalent to the Witch Ancestor 60-70 realms of other powerhouses from Myriad clans. Combined with the amplification from the physical body divine ability enhancement, my strength in the short term could probably rival that between Witch Ancestor 90 to 100 realms. Lin Yuan looked at the heavenly gate before him, thinking to himself. Below the mountain peak, many powerhouses from the Myriad tribes finally recovered from their shock. Soon, one of the powerhouses realized something. That was, the heavenly gate before Lin Yuan, was it still not pushed open? What does this mean? With the strength of the human blood rain, can't he push the heavenly gate open? Impossible. If even blood rain can't push open the heavenly gate, how did those Witch emperors and Witch ancestors enter it before? All the powerhouses from Myriad tribes were in an uproar, although most of them had no relationship with entering the heavenly gate. But now, seeing that the heavenly gate, which had been seen as the hope for leaving the two-dimensional world for over 300 years, was nearly impossible to push open, their hearts couldn't help but swell with a sense of desolation. If the heavenly gate couldn't be opened, then what was the point of these Myriad tribes' powerhouses madly cultivating and desperately enhancing their strength over these 300 years? Wouldn't their behavior of hunting everywhere for oddities be utterly laughable? If they collected all the oddities within the entire two-dimensional world, but couldn't take them out, wouldn't it be the same as garbage? As strong as the human blood rain is, if he can't open the heavenly gate, I might as well give up on this avatar. One after another, the powerhouses from the Myriad tribes began to fade away within the two-dimensional world. Giving up on an avatar was equivalent to a fundamental loss, and no powerhouse was willing to bear it. But if there really was no hope of leaving, it might be a relief to give up earlier. At least they wouldn't have to continue worrying and fearing within the two-dimensional world. Outside the scroll, the complexions of the supreme beings were unsightly. The heavenly gate can't be pushed open? Under such circumstances, doesn't that mean there's no hope of leaving? How is that possible? Before, the heavenly gate could be opened, but now it can't. The supreme beings talked amongst themselves. They had originally deduced that the heavenly gate of the two-dimensional world would be the passage connecting the inside and the outside. But they had never expected that the heavenly gate could not be pushed open. Xia Qin, the supreme beings of the Star Alliance, and the Yu-Clan supreme beings and others changed their expressions, looking towards Xia Qin supreme being. Just now, to purchase the lives of the 4 divine kings, the skinny old man and the other 6 tier 11 perfect strong ones, they had paid a significant price to Xia Qin supreme being. But now, if the heavenly gate couldn't be opened, wouldn't that mean their price was paid in vain? Because if they couldn't leave through the heavenly gate, the fate of the 4 divine kings and other strong ones would still be death, with the only difference being whether they died in battle or of old age. All trades are done. How do you plan to back out? Xia Qin supreme being glanced at the other supreme beings from different species, without a hint of pleasure for having the upper hand. Because if the heavenly gate couldn't be opened, not only did it mean the fate of the 4 divine kings and other strong ones, but Lin Yuan's fate would be the same. Unable to open the heavenly gate and trapped in the two-dimensional world, without the ability to control the rule of time to slow down the flow, they would have to die in, at most, 100,000 to 200,000 years. And 100,000 to 200,000 years in the two-dimensional world was equivalent to just 1 or 2,000 years in the main universe. Compared to facing a fundamental loss, Xia Qin supreme being would rather have not had those gains. Gentlemen, the inability to open the heavenly gate is probably related to the fact that the powerhouses of Myriad clans were absorbed into it, causing some changes to the two-dimensional world within white paper, said a one-horned supreme being, voicing his speculation. At these words, the other supreme beings nodded slightly. They also had similar thoughts. Otherwise, why could the Witch Emperors open the heavenly gate before the descent of the powerhouses from Myriad clans, and now, even the blood rain of human civilization was blocked outside? Let's wait and see. There might be some other change. The numerous supreme beings continued to observe the massive scroll from afar. The supreme beings from Star Alliance and others, although they wanted to cancel the trade with Xia Qin supreme being, had already sent out their treasures, so it was too late for regrets. With the strength of human civilization, to get those treasures back, they would have to start a full-scale war, which was almost hopeless. Even if they started a full-scale war, it would be a case of causing substantial damage to the enemy, but suffering heavy losses themselves, absolutely meaningless. In the two-dimensional world, Lin Yuan stood in front of the heavenly gate, but chose not to continue trying. Since even utilizing the physical body divine ability, enhancement, couldn't move the heavenly gate, any further attempts would be futile. Could it be that this heavenly gate is specifically targeting me? Lin Yuan suddenly thought, a conjecture that seemed incredible but now needed consideration. On the side of the human civilization evolvers, Xianyuan Dua and the other 11th rank evolvers were equally puzzled as to why the heavenly gate hadn't been opened. Just then, a voice suddenly rang in their ears. Xianyuan Dua, come here moment. Yes. Xianyuan Dua immediately realized that it was Lin Yuan calling her. She swiftly headed towards the heavenly gate. Lord Xueyu. Before the heavenly gate, Xianyuan Dua bowed slightly to Lin Yuan with some restraint. Before this day, Xianyuan Dua certainly respected Lin Yuan, but it was merely respect. In her view, she was also an 11th rank life, and even the 5th tier of 11th rank life. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 34. Through the ages, 8,000 words, please subscribe, _3. Even if Lin Yuan was stronger than her, the gap between them wouldn't be too large. But now, having witnessed Lin Yuan effortlessly defeating the 4 divine kings and other 11th rank perfect lives, as well as the earth-shattering aura he had just released. At this moment, Xianyuan Dua's attitude towards Lin Yuan had changed. It was no longer respect, but reverence, and he almost treated Lin Yuan like a half-supreme being. In Xianyuan Dua's view, Lin Yuan's strength in the two-dimensional world had already far exceeded the pinnacle that normal 11th-rank life forms could achieve. Try to push the heavenly gate, Lin Yuan instructed. To confirm whether the heavenly gate selectively targeted him or not was simple, just let other powerhouses push it as well. Okay, Xianyuan Dua did not doubt and walked to the front of the heavenly gate, starting to push it. Lord Shuiyu, I can't push it, Xianyuan Dua immediately said. You can't push it either? Lin Yuan looked thoughtful. Next, Lin Yuan randomly selected several other powerhouses from the Myriad tribes. He had them all stand in front of the heavenly gate and try to push it open. The result was the same. They couldn't move it. Try with the natives of the two-dimensional world. After dozens of attempts, Lin Yuan confirmed it wasn't just him. Other powerhouses from the Myriad clans couldn't open the heavenly gate either, so he decided to let the natives of the two-dimensional world have a try. On the mountainside, in a corner at the edge, Yen Fu, who had just entered the witch ancestor realm, was shivering under the unintentional release of aura by the numerous Myriad tribes' powerhouses. Even so, Yen Fu felt his journey was absolutely worth it because, here, he witnessed a terrifying battle that had never occurred in past history. Especially that young man standing in front of the heavenly gate. His every move made Yen Fu feel an impulse to worship him like facing the vast universe. So strong, so strong. Even if all the witch ancestors who have ever existed were combined, they would not compare to a single hair of that powerhouse. Yen Fu thought, filled with shock. Suddenly, a voice came through. Come here for a moment. Yen Fu paused slightly, instinctively looking towards the mountain summit, to Lin Yuan standing in front of the heavenly gate, and found that he was looking at him. Me? Yen Fu was somewhat incredulous. Could it be that he, a mere ant, had attracted the attention of a powerhouse like Lin Yuan? Okay. For some reason, besides fear, a tinge of excitement rose in Yen Fu's heart. What an honor it was to stand before Lin Yuan, a powerhouse without precedent. Soon, under the watchful eyes of many powerhouses from the Myriad tribes, Yen Fu walked up to Lin Yuan. Sir. Yen Fu bowed deeply to Lin Yuan with the utmost respect. Even though Lin Yuan's aura was restrained at the moment, not putting any pressure on Yen Fu, he dared not act recklessly. The scene reminiscent of the heavens shattering was still circling in his mind. To him, Lin Yuan was an insurmountable mountain, so high that he couldn't even look up to it. Go and push the heavenly gate. See if you can open it, Lin Yuan said tersely. If Yen Fu, a native witch of the two-dimensional world, could open the heavenly gate, that would mean that the threshold for Myriad tribes' powerhouses and native beings to open the heavenly gate was different. No problem. Yen Fu steadied himself and walked to the front of the heavenly gate, beginning to push. A moment later, Sir, I can't open it, Yen Fu said cautiously. I see, Lin Yuan nodded. He also came to a conclusion. There was no difference between the Myriad tribes' powerhouses and the native lives in terms of opening the heavenly gate. Is it because of our descent that has caused the difficulty of opening the heavenly gate to skyrocket? Lin Yuan thought to himself. At this point, that was the only explanation that made sense. How much has the difficulty of opening the heavenly gate skyrocketed? What kind of strength is needed to open it? Lin Yuan wondered, feeling for the moment just like the other powerhouses, aimless and uninspired, not knowing what his goal was. Is there something wrong with my state of mind? Lin Yuan immediately realized his change. The ripples that had constantly affected his state of mind suddenly became calm. In just over 300 years, I have already reached the witch ancestor 50 realm, and by the time the heavenly gate appears again, my strength will far exceed what it is now. Lin Yuan's gaze revealed a sharp determination. Even if I can't make it the next time the heavenly gate opens, there will be the time after that and the time after that. With my extraordinary aptitude, as long as I have time, there are infinite possibilities. Lin Yuan thought, his state of mind more resolute than ever. As time passed, the manifested heavenly gate began to slowly dissipate. The heavenly gate is disappearing? It seems that even blood rain couldn't enter the heavenly gate. What do we do now? Is there still a need to stay in this two-dimensional world? The many powerhouses of the myriad tribes felt an exceptional despair. The heavenly gate is going to disappear, said Lin Yuan, who was standing in front of it, noticing the changes in the heavenly gate. However, Lin Yuan did not stop it, but quietly watched as the heavenly gate fully disappeared. Continue cultivating. Set a goal. In 10,000 years, by the next opening of the heavenly gate, I must at least have reached the witch ancestor 100th realm, said Lin Yuan, decisively turning around and leaving the summit of Heavenly Mountain. What Lin Yuan didn't know was that he could not open the heavenly gate, and it had nothing to do with his own strength. It was because at the very depths of the two-dimensional world, a mysterious entity wanted to clearly see his growth rate over the upcoming 10,000 years. So, the heavenly gate that had opened this time was directly locked. No life form could open and enter it. Even if Lin Yuan possessed tremendous strength, unless he could completely break the restrictions and suppressions of the two-dimensional world, the heavenly gate would remain unopenable. And completely breaking the two-dimensional world's limits and suppressions was something even a supreme being could not accomplish. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 34. Through the ages, 8,000 words. Please subscribe. _4. The 12th rank supreme being could indeed withstand being pulled into white paper, but once they fell into it, they'd similarly be suppressed, barely able to display some extraordinary powers, much like those oddities. But that was all. There was still an immensely long way to go to break free from the suppression of the two-dimensional world. Luo River Gathering Area. After leaving the summit of Heavenly Mountain, Lin Yuan returned here. After which Ancestor 50 realm, the difficulty of advancing further vastly exceeds that before the 50 realms. Lin Yuan thought to himself. This was also the goal he had set for himself, which is why he aimed to only cultivate up to which ancestor 100th realm before the next door to the heavenly realm opened. It took over 300 years to reach the which ancestor 50th realm, but the subsequent 10,000 years brought only an increase to the 100th realm because the space for progress after the 50th realm was too small. The difficulty from the 50th to the 11th realm would likely exceed that from the 1st to the 50th realm. Conventional seclusion doesn't have much effect. Lin Yuan thought to himself. In fact, even if I can't push open the heavenly gate, I still have a possibility to escape the two-dimensional world. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. Supreme beings couldn't rescue anyone through white paper, but Lin Yuan, by using the door to the myriad realms, more precisely, the physical body transit of the door to the myriad realms, could indeed leave this two-dimensional world. It only cost 50 strands of world-breaking origin force. But there was still a problem with doing so. That was, after ending the transit, when his Taiyang divine spirit returned to the main universe, would it still appear inside the two-dimensional world? If it did appear again, such corporeal transit would be meaningless, because it would still be suppressed by the two-dimensional world. Moreover, the spirit will's transit method of the door to the myriad realms faced this same issue of whether it would still appear in the two-dimensional world upon return. Let's continue observing. Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts. Unless absolutely necessary, Lin Yuan wouldn't easily resort to this method. Directly disappearing from within the two-dimensional world? Current signs indicate that the white paper squeezed into the universe might possess an independent will. At the very least, it seemed to be an entity similar to the spirit of the mysterious realm in Xian Huang's secret realm. Otherwise, how could one explain the altered difficulty of opening the heavenly gate after the arrival of the myriad tribes' powerhouses? Therefore, directly using the door to the myriad realms to escape from the two-dimensional world, even if just temporarily, would certainly attract the attention of that being within the two-dimensional world itself. Escaping the suppressive restrictions of the two-dimensional world isn't something even a 12th-rank supreme being can do lightly, and for Lin Yuan to do so would be too conspicuous. As for Lin Yuan, the worst plan would be to abandon his Taiyang divine spirit, even if it resulted in defects in the martial path evolutionary path, but with against heaven's understanding, it wasn't impossible to make up for the deficiencies. Even if he couldn't compensate, since Lin Yuan was able to pave a martial path evolutionary path, he could also develop other evolutionary paths not weaker than the martial Dao, simply switching to another evolutionary path. Given Lin Yuan's current status in human civilization, starting over would be much easier than before. After a moment of contemplation, Lin Yuan's spirit turned back to cultivation. When activating divine skill enhancement, my spirit will significantly sharpens, furthering my control over power, and from there revealing more about the true essence of this world. Lin Yuan mused to himself. If I get a chance next, I might as well frequently activate physical body divine ability enhancement. The biggest risk of physical body divine ability enhancement is that after its activation, it leads to a brief period of weakness. But if one ensures being in a sufficiently safe environment, it can also serve as a method of cultivation. The strengthening of the spirit will not only greatly benefit Lin Yuan's understanding of the essence of the power in this two-dimensional world, but the comprehension of many laws by the true body in the outside world will also improve in efficiency as the spirit strengthens, enhancing performance in all aspects. As for the subsequent period of weakness, it's merely a weakening of strength, with no actual impact on the comprehension of laws. Xiaoyu Evolution Tower. Xia Qin Supreme Being looked at Lin Yuan, concerned, and asked, "Is the heavenly gate truly impenetrable?" The inability to open the heavenly gate had already been recognized by the Myriad tribe's powerhouses. Even the human blood rain, who dominated over the 4 divine kings, couldn't open it. It almost pronounced the death sentence of all the Myriad tribe's powerhouses within the two-dimensional world. However, Xia Qin Supreme Being still wanted to understand more about the situation. "It can't be pushed open," Lin Yuan said, nodding his head. There was no need to lie or hide anything in front of a Supreme Being. "This is troubling," Xia Qin Supreme Being said, somewhat headache-prone. If the heavenly gate couldn't be opened, it meant Lin Yuan couldn't leave the two-dimensional world on his own initiative. And outside the painting, these Supreme Beings couldn't influence the interior of the two-dimensional world either, equating to falling into a vicious cycle. While some Supreme Beings proposed to wait and see, perhaps there would be a change after the next opening of the heavenly gate, Xia Qin Supreme Being was still quite worried. "What are your plans now?" Xia Qin Supreme Being asked. "Continue cultivating, waiting for the next opening of the heavenly gate," Lin Yuan said calmly. "Good." Xia Qin Supreme Being nodded, sensing that Lin Yuan's mindset had not been affected at all, which was quite exceptional. Many strong individuals could persevere in the face of adversity, but to remain unyielding in the face of a hopeless or deadly situation was exceedingly difficult. Undoubtedly, the 300 years before the arrival of the Myriad tribe's powerhouses in the two-dimensional world were the years of greatest strength improvement, already reaching the world's bottleneck. Even after another 10,000 years, the improvement in personal strength might not be as significant as in those first 300 years. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 34. Through the Ages, 8,000 words. Please subscribe. _5. Advance another step at the top of the 100-foot pole. How easy is that to say? Don't worry, I've already discussed it with the other Supreme Beings. If it really doesn't work in the end, we'll use the ancestral force to see if we can forcefully break through that white paper. The Xia Qin Supreme Being said solemnly. Ever since the white paper squeezed into the universe, the Xia Qin Supreme Being and other existences have been carefully probing without using any drastic measures. The first reason is the fear of causing more changes in the white paper. The second is to avoid damaging the white paper as much as possible. But now, with all the probing methods proving ineffective, there's only the option of breaking through by force left. "Thank you, Supreme Being," Lin Yuan said. The ancestral force of human civilization definitely should not be used lightly, especially in the face of the white paper, whose details are unknown. But Lin Yuan is too important to human civilization, and the 9 supreme beings, including Xia Qin, didn't want to see Lin Yuan's avatar fall in the two-dimensional world and suffer fundamental losses. Leaving the personal world of the Xia Qin supreme being, Lin Yuan's true body then continued to sense the rule fluctuations. Out of the 12 guiding spaces on the Black Planet, I have taken 10. Lin Yuan mused. In the recent 2 to 3 years, he had gradually deduced 3 more pillar-level fusion rules. At Lin Yuan's level, it was easy to deduce pillar-level fusion rules. The difficult part was cultivating these pillar-level fusion rules to a higher realm. Lin Yuan's first comprehended life and death samsara rules still hovered at the 2nd realm, and even with the assistance of the Black Planet's guiding spaces, it was still a short distance from the 3rd realm. I am still too greedy. Lin Yuan shook his head lightly, forgetting that he was only at the 10th rank. The ultimate goal of a 10th rank strong person probably is just to comprehend 1 pillar-level fusion rule and rank as grade A. Yet now, speaking of pillar-level fusion rules, Lin Yuan could deduce them as he wished, and the pillar-level rules he deduced were powerful fusion rules merged from more than 3 pillar rules. Virtual World. Nalin, the Deputy Tower Master, found Lin Yuan. Galaxy Master, you really should go take a look at Heavenly Mountain. Nalin, the Deputy Tower Master, couldn't help but say. At the peak of Heavenly Mountain, when the Celestial Gate opened, Nalin, the Deputy Tower Master, searched for Lin Yuan among many Myriad tribes' powerhouses, but couldn't find him. So it was assumed that Lin Yuan didn't go to Heavenly Mountain. And that was quite normal. Not all Myriad tribes' powerhouses would venture to Heavenly Mountain. For example, the powerful members of the Tianyu clan hardly went to Heavenly Mountain. And some Myriad tribes' powerhouses who knew they had no hope of entering the Celestial Gate did not go to Heavenly Mountain either. In Nalin, the Deputy Tower Master's view, Lin Yuan was likely among the latter, and as the most powerful genius in the history of human civilization, his appearance at Heavenly Mountain would probably attract the attention of other Myriad tribes' powerhouses and thereby cause unnecessary trouble. The blood rain figure of our human civilization went on a killing spree at the peak of Heavenly Mountain, crushing supreme special beings like the 4 divine kings into the dust. Nalin, the Deputy Tower Master, spoke with a tone of emotion, and even now, the scenes from the peak of Heavenly Mountain kept flashing through his mind. It was just too domineering. Could the evolvers of human civilization actually be so dominant in the presence of those unique and special existences? Lin Yuan nodded, without offering much explanation. For a 10th rank being to thrash the Tier 11 perfect special beings like the 4 divine kings, if such news were to spread out, it would definitely cause the pinnacle figures of the insect race and the Tianyu clan to lose sleep. Rather than that, it's better to keep it under wraps, which was also the advice given by the Xia Qin Supreme Being. Until one has sufficient strength, it is best to lay low. It's not that human civilization couldn't offer protection, but it would save a lot of trouble. Human civilization, too, grew to its current strength through a long period of laying low. I wonder which evolver of human civilization the Blood Rain is, and if I have the privilege to meet them. Nalin, the Deputy Tower Master, said with a hint of longing in his voice. He was also an 11th rank evolver, but he didn't dare to feel any pride in the presence of the Blood Rain figure. Meet the Blood Rain? Lin Yuan glanced at Nalin, the Deputy Tower Master, without saying anything. Two-dimensional world. After a short period of seclusion, Lin Yuan took the initiative to leave the Luochuan gathering area and began to travel around every corner of the two-dimensional world. Past the Witch Ancestor 50 realm, simple seclusion no longer had much effect on strength improvement. What Lin Yuan needed to do was to walk every place in the two-dimensional world, to observe the essence of its power from different angles, continuously break the constraints of the world, and further improve his strength. Years flowed gently by. After that, Lin Yuan never showed up again, having traversed each phase of the 12 ancient countries and eventually leaving their territories. exploring towards the even more vast, desolate regions. Atop the mountain ranges, in the depths of the wilderness, beneath the vast seas, Lin Yuan passed by, as if an observer detached from the world. Time flowed like water, and before he knew it, 10,000 years had passed. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 35. Transformation of Power. Please subscribe. Black Planet, the Life and Death Samsara Guidance Space. An incarnation of Lin Yuan sat in this place, observing the ceaseless cycle of life and death before him. Life is death, and death is life. The cycles of life and death are merely different aspects of the samsara rule. So that's how it is. That's how it is. Lin Yuan was spirited. His understanding of the life and death samsara rule had broken through certain shackle, reaching a new level. The fourth realm. The fourth realm of the life and death samsara rule. In the two-dimensional world, a millennium had passed, while a century had gone by in the main universe. 150 years ago, Lin Yuan comprehended the life and death samsara rule. 100 years ago, the life and death samsara rule reached the second realm. Now, after another 100 years, Lin Yuan's understanding of the life and death samsara rule had surpassed the third realm and attained the fourth realm. The life and death samsara rule, although it only encompasses two pillar-level fusion rules of life and death. Essentially, it explicates the samsara rule. Without being in this guiding space, I estimate it would take over 10 times longer to reach my current level. Lin Yuan felt quite emotional inside. Due to his heaven-defying understanding, no bottleneck or shackle could block his path for long. If it were any other evolver, it wouldn't just be a matter of time, they probably couldn't cross over even at the end of their lifespan. Not to mention other races. Among human civilization alone, there are not a few 11th rank evolvers stuck in the third and fourth realm of pillar-level fusion rules. To cultivate to the tier 11, each is, without exception, the strongest genius of their era. This guiding space is of no use to me now. At this moment, Lin Yuan looked around at the intertwined and fused rules of life and death, feeling no further impact in his heart, because he had now reached a realm in this fusion of rules that equaled the height of the guiding space. Simply put, Lin Yuan had fully comprehended this guiding space. Now that the life and death samsara rule has reached the fourth realm, and several other pillar-level fusion rules like the Great Destruction Rule are at the third realm peak, I could step into the fourth realm at any moment. He thought to himself that while concurrently contemplating multiple fusion rules could disperse one's focus and energy, the simultaneous advance and collision among the different fusion rules often brought about unexpected propulsion effects for Lin Yuan. Whether it was the life and death samsara rule or the Great Destruction Rule, they are all part of the chaos rules, with the same origin. I can tell the Xia-Qin Supreme Being to arrange for 10th rank evolvers from human civilization to take my place. Lin Yuan thought silently. Since this guiding space was no longer effective for Lin Yuan, then he might as well rent it out. After all, according to the price previously agreed upon with the Xia-Qin Supreme Being, a guiding space is worth 100 million merit points. Let's go. Lin Yuan turned and left the guiding space. Outside the guiding space, the figure of Lin Yuan appeared. The next moment, on the summit of Heavenly Mountain, many Myriad tribes' powerhouses had arrived early. Compared to the bustle when the Heavenly Gate first opened, this time, the summit of Heavenly Mountain was much colder. Scattered around were several hundred Myriad tribes' powerhouses. After 10,000 years, I've far exceeded the exploration of the supreme weapon within me compared to 10,000 years ago, and I estimate it could rival the 60th realm of a witch ancestor. At the summit of Heavenly Mountain, the four divine kings stood quietly, their gazes emitting a hint of fighting spirit. In a two-dimensional world, after Myriad tribes' powerhouses cultivate to the 10th realm of a witch ancestor, they will be suppressed by the heavens of this world, finding it hard to progress any further. But this restriction, which applies to the Myriad tribes' powerhouses, relaxes greatly when it comes to the suppression of supreme weapons. The supreme weapon within the four divine kings indeed shares some essence of a supreme being. Excavating the power of that supreme weapon is much easier than elevating one's own realm and power. Without this supreme weapon, even over the past 100 or 200,000 years, the four divine kings could never have cultivated to the 60th realm of a witch ancestor. Now I should be able to compete with the human Shuayu. The four divine kings enthusiastically declared, "Human Shuayu, your biggest mistake was not killing me back then." The four divine kings steadied their spirits, their eyes blazing with fiery combat intent. Suddenly, at that moment, in the central position of the summit, someone appeared unnoticed. Human Shuayu. Human Shuayu has arrived. The surrounding Myriad tribes' powerhouses perked up, all turning their attention. In fact, most of the Myriad tribes' powerhouses had come to catch another glimpse of Lin Yuan, to see if Lin Yuan could push the heavenly gate this time. Human Shuayu. The four divine kings were spirited, while also looking towards Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan seemed to sense something, his gaze flickering towards the four divine kings. Boom! Just a single glance caused the four divine kings' minds to thunder, their legs shaking uncontrollably. If not for fiercely relying on the power of the supreme weapon within, they might have collapsed on the spot. How is this possible? How can he be so strong? The four divine kings couldn't help but roar inwardly, one gaze from Lin Yuan causing them to utterly falter, indicating that the gap between them and Lin Yuan had grown far wider than it had been 10,000 years before. At least 10,000 years ago, facing a glance from Lin Yuan wasn't nearly as unnerving. How could human civilization give birth to such a freak? The four divine kings finally managed to stabilize after stepping back several times. Lin Yuan glanced back at the four divine kings, also sensing some fiery emotion from the latter towards him. In fact, Lin Yuan didn't care much about the four divine kings. 10,000 years ago, the four divine kings were far from his match, and the gap between them had only grown over 10,000 years. For Lin Yuan now, the only opponent in this two-dimensional world was that heavenly gate. Time slowly passed. Finally, above the summit of Heavenly Mountain, intense spatial fluctuations emerged once again. A heavenly gate was slowly outlined, materializing in front of the many Myriad tribes' powerhouses. Deep within the two-dimensional world, in a vast space, in front of a giant scroll, a half-meter-tall old man yawned and slowly opened his eyes. For him, 10,000 years in the two-dimensional world was nothing more than a short nap, incredibly brief. Let's see how far 10,000 years can go. The half-meter-tall old man stretched, looking towards the giant scroll in front of him. The scroll was cloaked in mist, encompassing a vast, real world. What? The moment the half-meter-tall old man looked, he was somewhat bewildered, as if he had seen a ghost. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 37. Pushing the door open, please subscribe. In front of the massive scroll, the half-meter-tall elder seemed somewhat dazed. He could freely manipulate everything within the two-dimensional world of the scroll, with the entire two-dimensional world appearing as an extension of his own body, down to the smallest detail. As for the many powerhouses of the Myriad clans who had fallen into the two-dimensional world, in the eyes of the half-meter-tall elder, there were no secrets, as he could see through them at a glance. However, it was precisely because of this that the half-meter-tall elder was all the more astonished, his gaze piercing through the entire two-dimensional world, continuously sizing up Lin Yuan, who stood before the heavenly gate. Originally, I just wanted to watch for another 10,000 years, to see what this little fellow could do after breaking the limit of the 30 layers of worlds. The half-meter-tall elder silently thought to himself. Merely 300-some years after Lin Yuan's arrival, he had already broken the limit of the 30 layers of worlds, which left the half-meter-tall elder somewhat uncertain. According to his thoughts, As long as Lin Yuan could continue to break the 30 layers limit within the next 10,000 years, that would be enough. The higher one goes with world limits, the more difficult it becomes to break them. The first 30 layers of world limits are not at all the same concept as the next 30 layers. That's why the half-meter-tall elder had specifically set aside 10,000 years. I thought I had overestimated enough, that in 10,300 some years, breaking through 60 layers of world limits would be enough. I never expected this little guy to far exceed my estimates. In just 10,000 years, he actually broke through 99 layers of world limits. The half-meter-tall elder steadied his mind. That is to say, in the 10,300 years since Lin Yuan arrived, he had broken through a total of 129 layers of world limits. Even a 12th rank life, transcending the shackles of the river of time and falling into this low-dimensional space, couldn't possibly break through so many world limits in just over 10,000 years, right? The half-meter-tall elder still couldn't quite believe it. Even 12th rank lives that fell into low-dimensional space could still use some extraordinary methods to accelerate their cultivation speed. But even so, to reach Lin Yuan's current level, it would probably take 100,000 or even 1,000,000 years. Is he really just a long river inner life? The half-meter-tall elder confirmed repeatedly. Life below the 12th rank is also called long river inner life, meaning they need to be bound by the river of time. Even within the chaos void, long river inner life and long river outer life are fundamentally different, with the latter far surpassing the former in every aspect. This is determined by the essence of life itself. The beings within the river of time are limited in their perceptions and experiences, which are extremely narrow, whereas 12th rank lives outside the river of time can see and feel a universe that is immensely vast and grand. This is truly terrifying. Having confirmed that Lin Yuan was still caught within the river of time, the half-meter-tall elder's expression was one of utter amazement. At this moment, the speed of cultivation that Lin Yuan displayed was the strongest of all long river inner life since the creation of this two-dimensional world. And he had established a cliff-like gap with the second in line. Even among the many formidable existences outside the river of time, Lin Yuan's cultivation speed was astonishingly fast. No need to continue watching, I suppose. Just let him come in. The half-meter-tall elder glanced at the heavenly gate that was rapidly taking shape. If he continued to watch, the half-meter-tall elder even worried that Lin Yuan might continue to break even more world limits, eventually breaking free from the two-dimensional world's suppression and leaving. Although the probability of this happening was almost zero, an absolutely impossible feat. But before this, the half-meter-tall elder had also never imagined that Lin Yuan could break so many layers of world limits within 10,000 years. At the summit of Heavenly Mountain, Lin Yuan stood before the heavenly gate, his heart slightly stirred by the gate that was rapidly materializing. All the efforts he made during the 10,000 years in the two-dimensional world were, for this moment, to open the gate before him. Only by opening the heavenly gate was there hope to leave this two-dimensional world. Only by leaving this two-dimensional world could he avoid intrinsic losses and preserve his Taiyang divine spirit. Only by leaving this two-dimensional world could the countless mysterious artifacts Lin Yuan acquired display their true value. The heavenly gate gradually materialized, also pulling at the hearts and minds of other powerhouses of the Myriad clans. These powerhouses of the Myriad clans, although competitors with Lin Yuan, especially the 4 divine kings and other 11th rank perfect lives, had been living under the shadow cast by Lin Yuan for 10,000 years. But all the powerhouses of the Myriad clans sincerely hoped that Lin Yuan would be able to push open the heavenly gate. Only if Lin Yuan could open the heavenly gate would it mean that the gate could be opened, and they too would have the possibility of opening it. And only after Lin Yuan opened the heavenly gate and left this two-dimensional world would the chance for the 4 divine kings and other 11th rank perfect lives truly come. As long as Lin Yuan did not leave, no power in this two-dimensional world could compete with him. The 4 divine kings had some confidence initially and wanted to challenge Lin Yuan seriously this time. But just a single sidelong glance from Lin Yuan brought him back to reality. Lord Xueyu. On the side of human civilization, Lin Yuan and other 11th rank evolvers from human civilization watched Lin Yuan before the heavenly gate with anticipation. In these 10,000 years, they had not even met face to face, but it did not prevent everyone from pinning their hopes on Lin Yuan. In the depths of the cosmic starry sky, many a supreme being paid close attention to the scroll that stretched out beneath the stars. The heavenly gate is about to open. Hope it can be open this time, right? The many supreme beings rapidly communicated, and while there weren't many of the Myriad tribe's powerhouses left alive in the two-dimensional world, they were practically all the real elite or even the heritage of the major races and forces. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 37. Pushing the door open. Subscribe, please. _2.
Boom, boom, boom.
Just at this moment, the 9 supreme beings of human civilization suddenly unleashed a terrifying aura, recklessly stirring the space-time fluctuations of hundreds of thousands of light-years nearby. Human civilization? Have they activated the clan suppression weapon? Activating the clan suppression weapon comes at no small cost. What does human civilization intend to do? What to do? Naturally, to protect that blood rain, right? The thoughts of the supreme beings processed at an astonishing speed, immediately understanding the reason behind the actions of the 9 supreme beings. If Lin Yuan could push open the heavenly gate this time, freeing himself from the two-dimensional world and returning to the main universe, he would inevitably be exposed right under the noses of the many supreme beings present. And with Lin Yuan's stunning performance in the two-dimensional world, there would definitely be supreme beings who couldn't control themselves and would directly attack, such as the insect race, the matriarch of the Tianyu clan, and the ancestors. Or maybe some other ultimate beings, if given the chance, would certainly seize the opportunity to strike. Humph! For a mere life within the river of time, such a grand mobilization, the supreme beings of human civilization. A grand mobilization if you had offspring like blood rain, I reckon it would be even more exaggerated than what human civilization is doing now. The many supreme beings communicated with each other, but they didn't have any objections or aversion to the actions of Xiaqin Supreme Being and the other 8 supreme beings. In fact, they even voluntarily backed off a bit, showing their sincerity. One reason was that since Lin Yuan had freed himself from the constraints of the two-dimensional world and returned to the main world, even if his avatar died, there would be no fundamental loss. Hence, the significance of killing him wasn't significant. Secondly, they too had tribe members trapped in the two-dimensional world. After Lin Yuan left the two-dimensional world, the other powerhouses of the Myriad tribes would also successively push open the heavenly gate and leave. If they struck at Lin Yuan now, when their tribe members left the two-dimensional world, would the 9 supreme beings of human civilization just let it go? Rather than killing 1,000 enemies and losing 800 of themselves, it was better to take a step back. Of course, this was just the idea of the majority of ultimate beings. A few ancestors of the Tianyu clan thought differently. Because the Tianyu clan powerhouses who had fallen into the two-dimensional world had been eliminated right from the beginning and had no chance of leaving the two-dimensional world at all. Yet merely relying on the few ancestors of the Tianyu clan would not shake the 9 supreme beings of human civilization who had activated the clan suppression weapon. No suspicions have been raised. Xiaqin Supreme Being and the other 8 Supreme Beings exchanged glances and slightly relaxed. Currently, the aura of human civilization's clan suppression weapon still pervaded half of the scroll, so even a Supreme Being could not decipher the aura of the Blood Rain, who had escaped the two-dimensional world. The reason Xiaqin Supreme Being and the other Supreme Beings acted this way was only partially guessed by the ultimate beings present. The real reason was to cover up Lin Yuan's true identity. If the many ultimate beings sensed that the Blood Rain, escaping the two-dimensional world, was merely a 10th rank life, then likely all the ultimate beings present would have thoughts of attacking. What a joke, for a 10th rank life to beat and crush legendary lives of 11th rank complete like the 4 divine kings. Even the 9 supreme beings of human civilization were somewhat frightened and admitted that if other forces had such a monstrous figure, they would also take action to eliminate them. Luckily, the many ultimate beings did not think in this direction at all, and just assumed the 9 supreme beings of human civilization were purely protecting that blood rain. In fact, this assumption was not wrong. If Lin Yuan had not actively revealed himself, the 9 supreme beings of human civilization would also have regarded that blood rain as a legendary life of 11th rank perfection. The two-dimensional world. Atop the heavenly mountain, Lin Yuan stood quietly in front of the heavenly gate, which was gradually materializing from the ethereal. Soon, the heavenly gate was completely manifested. The thick fluctuations of spatial power rippled outward in all directions like ripples. Lin Yuan stood before the heavenly gate, not yet pushing it open but instead letting the memories of the past 10,000 years flicker through his mind. 10,000 years. It certainly was the longest period Lin Yuan had experienced since he identified himself as an evolver. Although only a century had passed in the main universe, the 10,000 years in the two-dimensional world were still real. Lin Yuan only needed to think back slightly, and everything that had happened over the past 10,000 years appeared before his eyes. Even if I still can't push it open this time, I will still wait for the next 10,000 years, and the next one beyond that. Without yet beginning to push the heavenly gate, Lin Yuan had already prepared for the worst scenario. After all, the last time the heavenly gate opened, Lin Yuan had exerted all his strength, yet he could not move it at all, even though his strength had indeed increased significantly since then. But whether he could ultimately open the heavenly gate or not, Lin Yuan still had no confidence. Let's begin. Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts and gently placed his hands on the heavenly gate. The next moment, the originally sealed heavenly gate slowly began to open. Lin Yuan was slightly startled. He had just placed his hands on the heavenly gate without even applying any force, yet the gate had opened? Even Lin Yuan felt that even if it weren't him standing before the heavenly gate, but rather an ordinary person, they could still easily push it open? What exactly is going on? Lin Yuan's thoughts fluctuated. 10,000 years ago, he hadn't used his physical body divine ability enhancement, yet he couldn't move the heavenly gate at all. Now, he just placed his hands on it and it easily opened? This stark contrast made Lin Yuan involuntarily speculate. Whether the heavenly gate could be opened was not related to one's own strength. Was it about whether the heavenly gate itself was willing to be opened? All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 37, Pushing the Door Open. Request for subscription. _3. The term Heaven's Gate here is broadly defined and does not specifically refer to the Heaven's Gate before us. Perhaps it refers to some other existence? Rustling. The Heaven's Gate slowly opened. Following a brief silence, the crowd of Myriad tribes' powerhouses around it burst into an uproar. Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate has been pushed open. I knew it. Heaven's Gate could definitely be pushed open. Last time was just an accident. The many exhilarated Myriad tribes' powerhouses chatted among themselves, knowing that even though the Heaven's Gate could be opened, most of them would still not be able to enter. But at the very least, they could obtain rare items through the Myriad tribes' powerhouses who did enter the gate. Even if most of those items were to be taken by this particular Myriad tribe's powerhouse, it was still far better than being left in the two-dimensional world. Heaven's Gate. New confidence surged in the eyes of the 4 divine kings. With Lin Yuan here, his chance to enter the Heaven's Gate this time was non-existent. But next time, once Lin Yuan had left, who else in the entire two-dimensional world could compete with him for a position at the next Heaven's Gate? Before the Heaven's Gate, Lin Yuan did not step in immediately. The different difficulties in opening the Heaven's Gate twice made Lin Yuan develop other thoughts about what was inside it. Since it's been pushed. After contemplating for a moment, Lin Yuan turned back to look at the excited human evolvers and then stepped in with his right foot. If this two-dimensional world were truly governed by some spirit that could easily alter the difficulty of opening the Heaven's Gate, then whether Lin Yuan stepped in or not was meaningless. As of now, the Heaven's Gate was his only hope of escape, and no matter his apprehensions, he had to enter.
Whoosh.
Lin Yuan stepped inside the Heaven's Gate. Immediately after turning tangible, the Heaven's Gate began to slowly close, fading away. The tumultuous force of the spatial energy at the summit of Heavenly Mountain quickly settled as if it had never existed. Cosmic Starry Sky. At the moment Lin Yuan pushed open the Heaven's Gate, Xiaqin Supreme Being and other 9 Supreme Beings of human civilization stood ready, activating their clan suppression weapon, ready to envelop Lin Yuan the moment he appeared. Other ultimate entities could not sense Lin Yuan's presence through the clan suppression weapon. Thus, the greatest secret about Blood Rain was preserved. As the aura of the 9 Supreme Beings from human civilization spread, other ultimate entities also cooperated extremely well, withdrawing their perception and focusing solely on white paper itself. Time passed. Xiaqin Supreme Being and the 9 Supreme Beings of human civilization immediately sensed that something was amiss. Because until the Heaven's Gate reclosed and faded away, they had detected no spatial fluctuations outside the canvas, let alone found any trace of Lin Yuan. What's going on? Where's Blood Rain? Didn't he enter the Heaven's Gate? Why hasn't he appeared yet? Not only were the 9 Supreme Beings of human civilization confused, but the other ultimate entities also felt that something was wrong. The space fluctuation stirred by the Heaven's Gate manifested in the two-dimensional world within white paper. Isn't it a spatial channel leading to the outer world? If it doesn't transport to the outer world, then where does it lead? The many Supreme Beings furrowed their brows, wondering whether Lin Yuan could successfully leave the two-dimensional world, a concern not only for human civilization. It was also a concern for many myriad tribes' powerhouses still in the two-dimensional world. If Lin Yuan entered the Heaven's Gate but did not return to the main universe, didn't that mean that when the Heaven's Gate was opened again, other myriad tribes' powerhouses who pushed open the Heaven's Gate would still be unable to return to the main universe? Xiaqin, where has Blood Rain gone after entering the Heaven's Gate? Yeah, Xiaqin, if he has not escaped the two-dimensional world's constraints, where does that Heaven's Gate actually lead? One of the ultimate entities immediately turned to Xiaqin Supreme Being and asked. Since Blood Rain came from human civilization, Xiaqin Supreme Being could definitely contact his true body. Thus, it was vital to determine the current whereabouts of Blood Rain who had entered the Heaven's Gate. And this was something that many ultimate entities at the scene were eager to know. What's the rush? Xiaqin Supreme Being, with furrowed brows, glanced at the other ultimate entities and did not immediately try to contact Lin Yuan. Although unclear about the specific location within the Heaven's Gate, Xiaqin Supreme Being speculated that it must be a crucial place. Lin Yuan needed to gather his energy to cope. Contacting him now and disturbing Lin Yuan was not a good thing. Xiaqin Supreme Being believed that once Lin Yuan had a moment to adjust, he would take the initiative to contact him. After Lin Yuan stepped inside the Heaven's Gate, he quickly felt his spirit while being elevated, supporting a shift from two-dimensional to three-dimensional space. At the same time, Lin Yuan also became more aware that he was detaching from some world, a vast, boundless giant canvas containing a broad and vast cosmos, from which he was rapidly escaping. Is that the two-dimensional world I fell into? Lin Yuan immediately realized that the giant painting was the two-dimensional world that had trapped him for over 10,000 years. The feeling of ascension, the feeling of descent. Lin Yuan felt it very peculiar. When drawn into the painting, he hadn't had the chance to fully perceive what being demoted meant. But now, extricating from the giant painting and becoming a normal life form again provided a clear experience. Lin Yuan carefully felt for a while, then his expression subtly changed. Because he then discovered that although he had escaped the two-dimensional world, he had not returned to the main universe. Where is this? Lin Yuan looked around. It was a vast space. Further away was an infinite expanse of murky gas, with only the giant canvas standing out prominently. At that moment, Lin Yuan also noticed an old man sitting in front of the giant canvas. In comparison to the canvas, This old man was extremely tiny, only half a meter tall, which was why Lin Yuan had initially ignored him. While Lin Yuan was observing the half-meter-tall old man, this old man was also looking at Lin Yuan with a peculiar gaze, continuously sizing him up. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability, Creating and Teaching the Tao in Various Worlds. Chapter 38, Replication of Understanding of Rules, True Versatility. Please subscribe. I've seen my elder. Lin Yuan immediately greeted. Although he didn't know exactly who the half-meter-tall elder was, the fact that he was sitting in front of the scroll suggested that he was most likely the true master of that two-dimensional world. His arrival at the heavenly gate and appearance here were probably by the elder's intent. Indeed, you are polite. A smile appeared on the elder's face. He had not communicated with a living being for too long, and though there were many lives in the two-dimensional world, none could pique his interest. Polite. Lin Yuan's expression remained unchanged. Facing an entity of unknown depth, was it not better to be polite rather than start a conflict? Lin Yuan was not foolish. Very well, you should now understand that this vast scroll in front of you represents the low-dimensional space you currently inhabit, the half-meter-tall elder slowly explained. This low-dimensional space is one of the earliest ones created, replicating as closely as possible a lower-dimensional world envisioned by the creator. The elder continued. Lin Yuan listened quietly. He had already gathered basic information about this low-dimensional space from the six-armed silhouette in the Xianhuang secret realm and stone statue, Shinji, in the demon jade space. The creator fashioned this low-dimensional space to help explore even lower-dimensional worlds, also designing it as a game world that could accommodate quintillions of lives at once, said the elder. Half-meter-tall elder glanced at Lin Yuan. Any life that falls into this low-dimensional space is considered a participant in this game, where the loser forfeits the spirit while they invested and the winner receives a reward. These are the rules of the game. If possible, try to comprehend the chaos rules before you challenge the 12th rank, the half-meter-tall elder pondered for a while before he spoke. Chaos rules. Lin Yuan put away the 5 sparkling orbs and looked toward the half-meter-tall elder seated before the huge scroll. This was not the first time Lin Yuan had heard of the chaos rules. Shinji from the demon jade space, the spirit of the Xianhuang secret realm, and Xia Qin, the supreme being, had all mentioned the chaos rules. Correct. Of course, don't pursue the chaos rules too eagerly. After all, for lives below the 12th rank, they are but a legend, said the half-meter-tall elder. Seeing Lin Yuan's displayed perceptiveness, combined with the understanding of rules from over 100 million powerhouses, gave the half-meter-tall elder an inexplicable confidence. All right. Lin Yuan nodded. To comprehend the chaos rules would be greatly beneficial for challenging the ultimate. If possible, Lin Yuan would naturally do his best to understand them. This game is over. It's time for me to leave, the half-meter-tall elder sighed. He controlled white paper and stayed within this universe, which seemed to the outside world as if he were being prevented from leaving by the actions of many supreme beings. But in reality, it was after absorbing enough lives into the scroll, followed by the start of the game, that he stopped, which was more a matter of going with the flow. Leave. Lin Yuan looked at the half-meter-tall elder. Yes. How do you plan to leave? Will you head out directly, or should I send you to a hidden location? The half-meter-tall elder asked. Aware of many 12th rank lives peeking outside the scroll, he had naturally taken notice well in advance. Therefore, he made a point of asking Lin Yuan. Send me to a hidden location, Lin Yuan said, without hesitation. Going out directly would be like exposing himself to numerous ultimate entities. If it were before, when the many powerhouses of the myriad tribes in the two-dimensional world were not yet dead, there probably wouldn't be any serious trouble, as long as the 9 supreme beings of human civilization swiftly concealed Lin Yuan's aura to prevent it from leaking the life aura of the 10th rank. But now, in the two-dimensional world, apart from Lin Yuan, the other powerhouses of the myriad tribes had died out, becoming nourishment for Lin Yuan's growth. The spatio-temporal fusion rule was comprehended directly, not without the support of the 4 divine kings and many other special lives. Going out at this time is not to say that the 9 supreme beings of human civilization could not protect him, but it would definitely trigger a grand battle at the level of the 12th stage powerhouses. "No problem," said the half-meter-tall elder with a nod. He had a way to elude the perception of the 12th rank powerhouses. Previously, when he sent out the native lives that had entered the celestial gate in the two-dimensional world, it was also done quietly, without any ultimate entities knowing. Outside the scroll, the numerous supreme beings covertly surrounded the mysterious scroll. Ever since their own people died in the two-dimensional world and after Xia Qin, the supreme being guided the reasoning towards white paper being a living creature. The many supreme beings were considering using force against white paper. At that moment, buzz, buzz, buzz. Under the astonished gazes of all the supreme beings, the slowly unfolding mysterious scroll began to sway slightly. Every sway stirred up millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of light-years of space-time fluctuations. Not good. The white paper wants to leave. The numerous supreme beings changed their expressions, immediately sensing white paper's intent. But it was to no avail. Even with the combined efforts of all the supreme beings to suppress it, they still couldn't stop white paper.
Boom.
Immense powers of space-time churned, and white paper, breaking free from the supreme being's suppression, began to fly through the cosmic starry skies at a terrifying speed.
Soon,
a vast crack appeared, and white paper smoothly rushed into the fissure, leaving this universe. The next moment, the numerous supreme beings arrived in time to see the now vanished white paper, their expressions turning ugly. Supreme beings receive too many gifts from the universe. Once they enter the chaos void, they will face the repulsion of the entire universe, so no supreme being dares to pursue. We've suffered a great loss this time. The supreme being from the Star Alliance thought bitterly. In this event, the unique lives of their Star Alliance faced fundamental losses, and even the hope that was the 4 divine kings with their prospect of reaching the ultimate would see reduced chances of challenging the ultimate because of this event. Besides, the Star Alliance also lost a supreme weapon, the one that the 4 divine kings had taken into the two-dimensional world. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan looked towards the space rift that white paper had entered from afar. White paper squeezed into the universe and now extricated itself from it in just over 100 years, but its impact on the starry sky races was profound, particularly for Lin Yuan. Compared to the other starry sky races, the losses of strength for the various peak clans, Lin Yuan's gain can be described as unprecedented. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 1 Inventory Gains. Subscribe requested. In the depths of the cosmic starry skies. This is a desolate star domain, where, for hundreds of thousands of light-years around, not a single planet is seen. Just then, a slight spatial fluctuation sent out ripples, and Lin Yuan's figure appeared out of nowhere. Where is this? The territory of the Star Alliance? Lin Yuan immediately used the position of his true body as a coordinate to determine his current location. I didn't expect that the white paper senior would send me here. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. Before leaving this universe, the half-meter-tall elder had casually tossed Lin Yuan out. And according to Lin Yuan, the farther away the better, given that there were dozens of ultimate beings surrounding white paper at the time. Being thrown too close, causing ultimate beings who were adept at the space great Tao to detect abnormalities, would have been troublesome. I wonder if I'll have the chance to meet white paper senior again. Lin Yuan mused from within the depths of multiple spatial layers, looking towards a far distant point where a massive spatial crack was slowly healing. The trip to the low-dimensional space had made a deep impression on Lin Yuan and given him more speculation about the door to the Myriad realms. So-called low-dimensional spaces are merely the product created by those near-perfect temporal beings to explore other dimensions. That is to say, Even beings nearing perfect temporal life cannot break dimensional limitations and wander through different dimensions. But the door to the Myriad Realms? It easily accomplishes this feat. Could it be that the door to the Myriad Realms is a treasure at the level of perfect temporal life? Lin Yuan hypothesized in his mind. From the half-meter-tall elder, he had learned of the terrifying nature of perfect temporal life, almost omnipotent, capable of easily overturning timelines if they wished. Forget it. Thinking about this now is too premature. Lin Yuan reigned in his thoughts. He wasn't even a supreme being now, considering perfect temporal life was meaningless. Anyway, the door to the Myriad Realms already recognized him as its master. Once his power reached that level, everything would become clear. I should head back as soon as possible. After surveying his surroundings and confirming there were no powerful beings from the Star Alliance nearby, Lin Yuan immediately planned to return to the territory of human civilization. The Star Alliance's territory is vast, but it's a typical case of wide land with few people. After all, the Star Alliance is primarily made up of many special life forms. And special life forms do not have the reproductive capabilities like human civilizations. Even the most common special life form probably takes decades or even hundreds of years for a single reproductive cycle. Of course, the insect race has the strongest reproductive ability. However, the insect race creating insect race warriors doesn't entirely count as reproduction, as insect race warriors are completely controlled by the queen with no independent will, so they don't qualify as life. As for reproduction among the formal members of the insect race, it takes even longer than most special life forms. Let's go. Lin Yuan took a step, disappeared, and reappeared a million light years away. Having grasped the spatio-temporal fusion rule, the speed at which Lin Yuan traveled had increased by who knows how much. A single step covering a million light years was already the result of him actively restraining himself to prevent causing too large of a spatial fluctuation that might attract the attention of powerful special life forms within the territory. If Lin Yuan were to go all out, he could easily take a step spanning 10 million light years, or even tens of millions of light years. In short, since grasping the spatio-temporal fusion rule, distance had lost much of its meaning to Lin Yuan. If Lin Yuan could elevate the spatio-temporal fusion rule to the second realm, the third realm, the distance he could cross in one step would only increase. What if I combined it with the 9 steps of spacetime? Lin Yuan shook his head slightly, deciding to wait for an opportunity to test his ultimate speed. The Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, a smile appearing on his face. The trip into the two-dimensional world, though fraught with great danger that risked erasing his Taiyang divine spirit completely, thus affecting the foundation of his martial Tao, was, at the same time, hugely rewarding as long as he could get out smoothly. The first gain was everything from the Myriad tribe's powerhouses, their physical bodies, souls, and many other mysteries, as well as their understanding and comprehension of the rules, all of which fell into Lin Yuan's hands. Although according to the half-meter-tall elder's intention, except for the spatio-temporal fusion rule comprehension, other aspects were all unrefined and unpurified. Therefore, Lin Yuan had to be a bit more careful when studying them, but it was still far beyond his expectations and countless times easier than starting from scratch. Next came the exotic objects. Being able to wander every corner of the two-dimensional world for 10,000 years, Lin Yuan naturally acquired quite a few exotic objects. These objects were not very useful in the two-dimensional world, at least not to Lin Yuan, who was invincible in that world at the time. They made no difference to him. But as soon as he brought them out, they would be considered 12-star strange treasures. If I had known that only one victor could exist, I could have extorted those peak clans again. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. During the second opening of the Heaven's Gate, when Lin Yuan pushed it open, the other powerhouses of the Myriad clans instinctively believed that they could do the same, so they didn't plan to let Lin Yuan bring out the exotic objects. Actually, there was no need for the Taiyang divine spirit to rush. A thought occurred to Lin Yuan. He suddenly remembered he had another identity, that of the master of the Xianhuang secret realm. The Xianhuang secret realm, founded by Xianhuang, is rooted in this universe. As its master, Lin Yuan could directly enter the Xianhuang's secret realm with the assistance of the Xianhuang seal, as long as he was within this universe. Then, through the transfer of the Xianhuang's secret realm, he could return to the Milky Way star region. Within the territory of the Star Alliance, the traveling Lin Yuan stopped, then activated the Xianhuang seal deep within his soul, and his figure quickly vanished, getting pulled into the Xianhuang's secret realm. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 1 Inventory Gains. Subscribe requested _2. Master. The six-armed silhouette stood respectfully, bowing to Lin Yuan. As the spirit of the Xianhuang's secret realm, it could sense every change within the secret realm. Naturally, it was aware of Lin Yuan's entrance. You may leave now. Lin Yuan glanced at the six-armed silhouette and gave the order. Yes. The six-armed silhouette respectfully withdrew. Now it's safe. Lin Yuan's mind relaxed. Despite being on the Milky Way main star, he was not entirely safe, carrying many extraordinary items. However, in the Xianhuang's secret realm, there was no danger at all. Let's take a look at this silver mirror. Lin Yuan directly took out the silver mirror. Buzz. Freed from the constraints of the two-dimensional world, the silver mirror seemed to awaken, emitting vast spatial fluctuations, like a small universe being opened up. As the lord of the Xianhuang's secret realm, though Lin Yuan, who could mobilize the entire realm's power, didn't feel any pressure. After bringing it out, do I need to refine it to reopen the space it contains? Lin Yuan appeared contemplative. In the main universe, the might of the silver mirror, an ultimate weapon, was reviving. Refining it was necessary to utilize it even at a basic level. Of course, refining the silver mirror wasn't difficult for Lin Yuan. Back in the two-dimensional world, Lin Yuan had already poured a massive amount of mental energy into it, tantamount to half refining it. Continuing to refine it now was merely the natural course of things, a task he could complete in 1 or 2 months at most. Of course, it was just the refining part. To fully unleash this ultimate weapon and bring its power back to life, Lin Yuan at his current level couldn't manage. Only after reaching Tier 11 and undergoing a vast and transformative enhancement of his strength would it be possible. In human civilization's history, occasionally, powerful evolvers wielding ultimate weapons would venture into medium and small-sized otherworldly battlefields, creating permanent spatial rifts. In fact, it was supreme beings behind the scenes driving the ultimate weapons, not ordinary 11th rank evolvers. Even if they exhausted all their strength, they couldn't deal a 12th rank level blow with an ultimate weapon. During the period of refining the silver mirror, Lin Yuan took out 5 radiant orbs of light. These were Lin Yuan's rewards as the victor. As for those extraordinary items, they were things Lin Yuan had painstakingly searched for in the two-dimensional world and didn't count as rewards. Among the 5 radiant orbs, one had a pure aura, precisely representing the spatio-temporal understanding of the Myriad tribe's powerhouses. As for the other 4 orbs, they seemed slightly turbid. Let's check this orb. Lin Yuan randomly selected one of the 4 orbs and cautiously probed into it with his mind. In an instant, Lin Yuan's consciousness began to roar. This? Lin Yuan was astounded. He had become a mammoth flame giant, incredibly lofty, millions of kilometers tall, currently lying asleep in an immense sea of magma. Is this the Turbid Fire King? An 11th rank complete legendary life. Lin Yuan immediately recognized the other based on the features of the flame giant. The Turbid Fire King, a skinny old man who during the first opening of the Heaven's Gate had teamed up with 4 other 11th rank complete legendary strength individuals, attempting to besiege the 4 divine kings. In the two-dimensional world, the Turbid Fire King had a thin build, but in the main universe, he was a unique life form, only slightly inferior to the 4 divine kings and mother of the tree realm. Otherwise, he wouldn't have tried to besiege the divine kings. It's too incredible. Lin Yuan felt every aspect of the flame giant's body vividly. the minutiae of its physical structure, the numerous innate abilities it possessed. Even the profound laws involved in the flame giant's mere breath captivated Lin Yuan. Is this what makes a unique life form unparalleled? Lin Yuan withdrew his mind from the orb, his eyes filled with awe. Compared to humans, unique life forms were too powerful, especially the unparalleled ones like the flame giant, born at 6th rank, who could grow to 9th or 10th rank by merely taking a nap, reaching 11th rank effortlessly. Among the Starry Sky races, even those with peak lineage like the Starry Sky Wanderer Koan were only 6th rank as adults. To advance to 7th and 8th rank, they had to rely on their own efforts. The majority of Starry Sky Wanderer Koan couldn't reach 8th rank. But a unique life form, unparalleled and singular? They were the favored children of the universe, naturally achieving peak levels of life without investing much effort. Of course, it is precisely this smooth sailing that makes the chances of unique life forms reaching ultimacy very slim. To become a supreme being, reliance on innate talent is insufficient. In the current universe, the majority of the ultimate beings were those who grew from weak life forms. Continue. After some thought, Lin Yuan sent a portion of his mind into another orb. Thunder rolled. This time, Lin Yuan transformed into a member of the silver-armored gold-horned alien race, engaged in battle with a mighty life form. Thunder rolled. Space continuously collapsed. The various rule insights revealed by the silver-armored gold-horned alien race during the battle all surged into Lin Yuan's mind. Material rules. This silver-armored gold-horned alien has high mastery of the Great Destruction rule, Lin Yuan thought to himself, and his physical body, while not on par with the turbid Fire King, is also extremely extraordinary in some aspects. Lin Yuan deeply explored the insights. The 4 luminous orbs given by the half-meter-high elder hadn't been specifically refined and purified. They could not bring the direct understanding as probing the orb with the spatio-temporal fusion rule had done. But for Lin Yuan, there was no difference. With his against heaven's understanding, countless flashes of spiritual light emerged in his mind. The 10th stage Martial Tao chapter, I now have a direction. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 1 Inventory Gains. Subscribe requested _3. Observing every aspect of the Myriad tribe's powerhouses, Lin Yuan had developed a concrete approach to the opening of the 10th stage Martial Tao chapter. Physical body. Soul. Lin Yuan's eyes shone brightly. The physical body and soul were the foundations of the martial path evolutionary path. Starting from the 4th rank 5th stage section, Lin Yuan's opened martial path evolutionary path had focused on the understanding of rules and the development of the inner world. But by the 10th rank chapter, Lin Yuan's attention returned to the physical body and soul. With many special life forms among the Myriad tribe's powerhouses as references, Lin Yuan gained a whole new level of understanding concerning the minute structure of the physical body and the essence of the soul. In terms of foundational aspects, human civilization indeed fell far short in comparison to those special life forms with profound heritages. Starting behind didn't mean always being behind. Lin Yuan's newly developed 10th stage Martial Tao chapter was rapidly absorbing the strengths of these special life forms. Theoretically, if the 10th rank chapter opened up by Lin Yuan was cultivated by future martial arts evolutionaries, they would be no weaker than those special life forms in all aspects. Lin Yuan's observation of the Myriad tribe's powerhouses in terms of their physical bodies, souls, and understanding of rules, even memories, was not only a great help in perfecting the 10th stage Martial Tao chapter. It was also incredibly beneficial for himself. Lin Yuan's physical body slowly evolved towards the utmost level of perfection, and the understanding of many rules, especially the pillar-level fusion rules, was rapidly improving. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. Lin Yuan's expression shifted as he looked towards a floating silver mirror nearby. Finally, the initial refining is successful. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. This supreme weapon, the silver mirror, had no owner from the start. Moreover, Lin Yuan infused it with his mental power continuously in the two-dimensional world. From the time he began until now, with the initial refining success, he had encountered virtually no setbacks or obstructions. After the initial refining of the silver mirror, Lin Yuan's consciousness entered the world contained within it.
Boom, boom, boom.
Within the two-dimensional world, the interior world of the silver mirror was nothing more than a cramped space of 10 square meters. But at this moment, as Lin Yuan's consciousness merged with it, he was immediately stunned. A world vast and boundless presented itself before Lin Yuan. The size of this space is at least 10,000 light-years in diameter, isn't it? Lin Yuan muttered to himself, but by size, the inner universe of a supreme being seemed to be about the same size. Such a massive world, once fully activated, would be no less than a supreme being making a full-powered effort, Lin Yuan thought silently to himself. However, to fully activate the silver mirror, one would have to be a supreme being. Even if Lin Yuan stepped into Tier 11, he would at best barely activate it, let alone fully activate it? Probably far from it. Let's check the other exotic treasures. Lin Yuan followed his senses to a vast stone platform. A variety of exotic treasures were placed there. Upon a closer count, the total number of exotic treasures exceeded 100. As he left the two-dimensional world, the silver mirror began to revive, and these exotic treasures gradually recovered as well. If this were not in the world inside the silver mirror, but in the main universe, the fluctuations emitted by these more than 100 exotic treasures would likely affect tens to hundreds of thousands of light-years. 11 of these exotic treasures belong to human civilization, Lin Yuan identified, selecting them from over 100 items. During 10,000 years in the two-dimensional world, Xianyuan Dua and many other human civilization evolutionaries had been continuously searching for many rare treasures, handing over a total of 22 to Lin Yuan. According to the agreement between Lin Yuan and the Xia-Qin Supreme Being, Lin Yuan could keep half of these 22 treasures after taking them out. So many exotic treasures. Lin Yuan looked at the nearly 100 remaining treasures with exhilaration. Even ultimate beings would probably be green with envy at the sight of so many exotic treasures. Stay calm, stay calm. Lin Yuan composed himself. These treasures were precious, but their practical use to him at the moment was limited. After all, the life level of Lin Yuan was still too low to fully utilize these treasures. Take it slow. Lin Yuan carefully transferred the 11 exotic treasures of human civilization into his inner world. No problem. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. The 11 exotic treasures, 11 12-star strange treasures, their power completely contained, were floating quietly in his inner world. I'll take these treasures to Xia-Qin Supreme Being. Lin Yuan placed these 11 treasures separately within his inner world, while the silver mirror and many other treasures were stored in the Xianhuang secret realm. After doing all this, the Taiyang Divine Spirit left the Xianhuang secret realm. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan was seated cross-legged when a figure silently appeared before him. It was none other than the Taiyang Divine Spirit. You're back. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. The feather butterfly Supreme Being has been waiting for me for some time now. Lin Yuan's heart stirred as the Taiyang Divine Spirit left the Milky Way main star, heading towards a patch of starry sky. Days before, an incarnation of the feather butterfly Supreme Being had appeared outside the Milky Way main star, ensuring that nothing untoward befell Lin Yuan. After all, Lin Yuan was the only survivor from the white paper of all the Myriad tribes' powerhouses. Although other different species weren't aware of this, human civilization had to be cautious. Thank you, feather butterfly Supreme Being. Lin Yuan's Taiyang Divine Spirit flew out and bowed slightly to the ethereal figure in the starry sky. No trouble at all, said the feather butterfly Supreme Being with a smile, her voice soft. Shall I take you to our human civilization's third stronghold? The other Supreme Beings want to meet you. The Supreme Beings? Lin Yuan looked slightly puzzled. Yes, Xia-Qin and the other 7 all want to meet you. The feather butterfly Supreme Being looked at Lin Yuan. 8 Supreme Beings? Lin Yuan held his breath. If you add the feather butterfly supreme being in front of him, that would be 9 supreme beings. 9 supreme beings of human civilization showing up just to meet him? Such an event was rare. Unless faced with a crisis of survival, human civilization's 9 supreme beings seldom gathered together, as most of them had their endeavors to pursue. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 2: The Confusion of the 9 Supreme Beings. Please subscribe. There's no need to worry or fear. They just want to see you, said the feather butterfly supreme being softly. In the two-dimensional world, Lin Yuan swept through the different species in all directions, overwhelming and crushing special beings such as the 4 divine kings and other level 11 perfect legendary lives, shocking even the supreme beings. Thus, aside from Xia Qin supreme being, the other supreme beings were also alerted and developed a strong curiosity about Lin Yuan. All right. Lin Yuan nodded. This was a good opportunity to deliver the 11 strange items. These 11 strange items were treasures that people like Xianyuan Dua and other human civilization evolvers had obtained through more than 10,000 years of immense hardship and even deadly battles with powerhouses of myriad tribes. Lin Yuan taking 50% was already more than enough, and he naturally would not embezzle. For Lin Yuan, acquiring these strange items was incredibly effortless, a testament to his absolute strength. For human civilization and other 11th rank evolvers, acquiring these strange items, especially in the later stages, was only possible through competition with powerhouses of myriad tribes, a difficulty that is imaginable. Stand behind me. After looking at Lin Yuan, the feather butterfly supreme being initiated changes in the surrounding space-time. I can feel the distance between me and my true self stretching to countless light years in an instant. Lin Yuan's heart was turbulent, recognizing that the feather butterfly supreme being in front of him was not the true body, but rather an insignificant incarnation. Very soon, Lin Yuan followed the feather butterfly supreme being to a grand palace. This is the number 3 stronghold of our human civilization. Feather butterfly supreme being stopped and explained with a smile. The number 3 stronghold was where the 9 supreme beings usually met. After the creation of the virtual world by human civilization, the number 3 stronghold was seldom used, as the supreme beings mostly gathered in the virtual world, which was more convenient and simple. Lin Yuan nodded solemnly. This palace exerted a great pressure on him. It was at least a supreme weapon, and a very powerful one at that. Among the more than 100 strange items obtained in the two-dimensional world, none could surpass this palace in terms of oppressive force. Following behind the feather butterfly supreme being, Lin Yuan entered the palace. Deep inside the palace, 9 enormous thrones were occupied by 9 majestic figures. Upon arrival, the form of feather butterfly supreme being quickly dissipated. Greetings to the 9 supreme beings. Lin Yuan immediately bowed to show his respect. Lin Yuan held great respect for the supreme beings in his heart because, for the supreme beings, protecting human civilization was completely altruistic. In the battlefields of different races, human civilization's 6th rank, 9th rank, 10th rank, and 11th rank evolvers fight fiercely with the different species, which, although is deemed as duty, also allows them to gain substantial benefits and rewards. The merit points system devised by human civilization rewards those who contribute with many benefits and privileges. This has led to the dazzling state of human civilization today, a balance between input and output. But what about the supreme beings? They protect human civilization, devoting a great deal of time and energy. What do they gain from it? Essentially nothing. Such formidable physical strength, one of the supreme beings, the ancient power supreme being, stared at Lin Yuan and murmured. As the ultimate existence in the path of strength evolution, the ancient power supreme being's greatest asset was physical strength, adhering to the belief that strength breaks all laws. Upon hearing this, Lin Yuan listened obediently. His physical body naturally far surpassed that of other 10th rank evolvers. The path of martial Tao was skilled in physical body strength, and with the enhancement from the mysterious gourd, his physical strength was 23 times that of the baseline. Additionally, cultivating the body of Xianhuang significantly increased physical strength, as well as enduring the infusion from the chaos void origin upon breaking through to the 10th rank. Under the influence of many factors, Lin Yuan's physical body had reached an inconceivably powerful level. Relying solely on physical strength, he could probably challenge an ordinary 11th rank evolver. This was only the physical body of Lin Yuan's Taiyang divine spirit. His true body was even stronger. Physical strength is insignificant compared to the comprehension of rules. Another supreme being on a distant throne, the void god supreme being, slowly said. The ancient power supreme being glanced at the void god supreme being. The void god supreme being, who mastered the space great Tao, was definitely one of the trickiest among the 9 supreme beings of human civilization because it was impossible to locate his true body. Without a physical body, how can there be any comprehension of rules? Another supreme being spoke up, showing a kind smile to Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan, Xia Qin supreme being said from his throne, "We are very pleased with your performance in the two-dimensional world." "Thank you, supreme being," Lin Yuan immediately replied. To satisfy 1 or 2 supreme beings was already very difficult, but to satisfy all 9? At least since the beginning of the Starry Sea era, it had never happened. Supreme beings, here are the 11 strange items. Lin Yuan's thoughts stirred slightly, and 11 strange objects appeared in front of him. Among these 11 objects, 8 were 12-star strange material ingredients and 3 were supreme weapons, 2 of which were attack type, and 1 was defense type. They're all fairly decent. The 9 supreme beings seated on the throne glanced at them and nodded slightly. To them, these strange objects were not very effective, but they could at least enhance the foundation of human civilization. Moreover, since Shenyuan Dua and other Tier 11 evolvers had perished within the two-dimensional world, these were items they sought for him. Though their usefulness was not as great as Lin Yuan's, they still served to somewhat compensate for what was lacking. Lin Yuan, if you have any strange objects that you don't need, you can exchange them for merit points at any time and then trade them in the treasury of human civilization for 12-star strange treasures that can be of help to you. Xia Qin Supreme being reminded him. This time in the two-dimensional world, only Lin Yuan had successfully made it out alive. Considering the size of the hall, it was definitely the largest for Lin Yuan. With Lin Yuan's strength that swept through the two-dimensional world, he definitely obtained a batch of strange objects, in addition to the 11 distributed to him. Xia Qin Supreme being estimated that Lin Yuan had probably more than 30 strange objects in his possession. Xia Qin Supreme being wasn't interested in the strange objects Lin Yuan held, as they were obtained through his own strength and skill, but not all the strange objects were useful to him. The human civilization's treasury also recorded a batch of 12-star strange treasure weapons, with a rich variety, which could only be exchanged with merit points. Lin Yuan could completely choose those suitable for himself. All right. Lin Yuan nodded. Among the nearly 100 strange objects obtained from the two-dimensional world, most were not useful to him. Instead of keeping them, it was better to exchange them for treasures and rarities that could benefit him. After all, human civilization would not let him suffer a loss. I will take these 11 strange objects, then. Xia Qin Supreme being waved his hand, and the 11 strange objects before Lin Yuan disappeared. I have asked you to come here because we plan to join hands and take you to the banks of the River of Time once more, to improve your understanding of the rule of time and deepen your understanding of the fusion of time and space, striving for you to comprehend the spatio-temporal fusion rule sooner. Xia Qin Supreme being continued to speak. Lin Yuan had long penetrated the rule of time, but like the space rules, what is called a thorough understanding of the rule of time was only understanding one aspect of the rule of time. To finally comprehend the spatio-temporal fusion rule, he still needed to continuously contemplate the rule of time. With Xia Qin Supreme Being's power alone, Lin Yuan could be liberated from the river of time for dozens of breaths. If the power of the 9 Supreme Beings were pooled, the time away from the river of time would naturally be even longer. Such assistance would be significantly more substantial towards Lin Yuan's meditation on the rule of time. Of course, when the 9 supreme beings join forces to forcibly liberate a life from the river of time, there will definitely be a backlash from the river of time and the entire universe. But considering the significant contributions Lin Yuan made in the two-dimensional world, even though they had already distributed the 11 strange objects, Xiaqin Supreme Being and other Supreme Beings felt they should compensate Lin Yuan further. As for the backlash, as long as the timing was well managed and considering Lin Yuan was just a 10th rank life, they could bear the cost. Head to the banks of the river of time? Lin Yuan's expression showed slight hesitation. Being at the banks of the river of time, overseeing the entire river of time, is an unprecedented great fortune for most lives. But for Lin Yuan, he had already reached a pinnacle in his comprehension of the rule of time. Even if he were on the banks of the river of time again, it wouldn't be very beneficial. After all, as a 10th rank life, how far could he see in a brief visit to the banks? From an efficiency perspective, it was far less beneficial compared to absorbing the orb containing the comprehension of the spatio-temporal fusion rule by the powerhouses of myriad tribes. The most critical issue was impressive indeed. How many special beings did this youngster dissect to have such a profound understanding of the physical body? The ancient power supreme being wondered more and more inconceivably as he read. High understanding of rules by Lin Yuan? He could somewhat force an explanation. After all, many rules pervade the cosmic starry sky, and to those peerless geniuses, they are palpable. But the mysteries of the physical body, especially the mysteries of the physical body in the Martial Tao 10th rank chapter, are all directed towards the Tao of the physical body, the location of the great Tao of the cosmos. Such profound understanding of the physical body should be beyond a youngster like Lin Yuan, right? And the soul, the feather butterfly supreme being said with a slightly grave expression. She also noticed the core thread of the 10th rank chapter, which fundamentally lies in the physical soul. Martial arts evolutionaries who practice up to the Martial Tao 10th rank, reaching perfection in the 10th rank layer, will have a much higher possibility of stepping into Tier 11 in the future. Even touching the ultimate offers a minuscule benefit, nodded the Xiaqin Supreme Being. Do not underestimate the significance of a transcendent physical soul, especially when striving for the ultimate. A perfected physical soul might not provide great help, but it will at least not be a hindrance. Indeed, it is very good. The Void God Supreme Being nodded slightly. Even he saw the rare and valuable aspect of the Martial Tao 10th rank chapter, returning to the physical soul, emphasizing the shaping of the foundation. This 10th rank chapter is worth at least 3 billion merit points. 3 billion merit points? That is somewhat low. I think it is worth at least 4 or 5 billion merit points. Let's say 5 billion? I feel like the exposition on the physical body in the 10th rank chapter could be applied to other evolution paths. The various supreme beings conversed with each other and finally rendered a 5 billion merit points valuation. Milky Way main star. As Lin Yuan waited, he once again immersed himself in the practice and enlightenment of the Tao. Just then, respected scholar Lin Yuan, 8th level citizen, your Martial Tao 10th rank chapter has been judged. Began the solemn and cool voice of the goddess of wisdom. Judged already? Lin Yuan opened his eyes, slightly expectant. The final evaluation result values the 10th stage Martial Tao chapter at 50 billion merit points. The voice of the goddess of wisdom rang out. 50 billion merit points. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. He remembered the 9th stage Martial Tao chapter was valued at only 2 billion merit points. Those 2 billion merit points even included the results of the bloodline cultivation system. But now, the 10th stage chapter is worth 50 billion straight away. Even though Lin Yuan used nearly 100 exotic treasures, 50 billion merit points was still a huge fortune for him. In the human civilization treasury, the exchange price for 12-star strange treasures starts at 1 billion merit points. 50 billion merit points could exchange for 50 of the lowest value 12-star strange treasures. Right. What's the current ranking of the Martial Path evolutionary path now? Lin Yuan immediately began to check. After uploading the 9th stage Martial Tao chapter, the Marshall Path Evolutionary Path's ranking was 42nd in the Southern Star region. Being 42nd in the Southern Star region, one of the 5 major star regions of human civilization, would roughly put it in the 3 to 400 range of the entire human civilization's evolutionary paths. The rankings of the Southern Star region's evolutionary path.
Ha.
First, Lin Yuan was somewhat surprised as he saw the final ranking. Even though he had anticipated a spike in ranking after uploading the 10th rank chapter, thanks to those 50 billion merit points being there. The higher the evaluation in merit points, it meant that the 3 goddesses and even the supreme being saw great potential, signifying even greater potential. But Lin Yuan hadn't expected to soar straight to first place in the Southern Star region rankings. This was one of the 5 major star regions, not some star domain or star alliance. The evolutionary paths in the Southern Star region's rankings were primarily 11th rank evolutionary paths, and having the 9th rank Marshall Tao evolutionary path at 42nd was already incredibly unbelievable. The ranking of human civilization's evolutionary paths. Lin Yuan shifted his gaze to the ranking of the Marshall Path evolutionary path amongst the evolutionary paths of human civilization. The rankings of human civilization's evolutionary paths consist of all evolutionary paths recorded by human civilization, including the rankings of all evolutionary paths, as well as the 9 great supreme evolutionary paths. The ranking of human civilization's evolutionary paths is the most prestigious. 10th place. Lin Yuan glanced up at the evolutionary paths, now ranked ahead of the Marshall Path evolutionary path. There were only 9. And these 9 evolutionary paths were all supreme evolutionary paths. Has the Marshall Path evolutionary path become the strongest evolutionary path beneath the supreme evolutionary paths? Lin Yuan silently thought to himself. Of course, to say it's the strongest isn't quite accurate. The ranking of human civilization's evolutionary paths is determined by many aspects, including potential, which holds significant weight. But regardless, the Marshall Path evolutionary path has now become the most pinnacle of all the vast and numerous evolutionary paths recorded in human civilization. The rise in the ranking of the Marshall Path evolutionary path swiftly caused a huge stir within the entirety of human civilization. After all, the Marshall Path evolutionary path's latest ranking was 10th in human civilization, overwhelming a host of 11th rank peak evolutionary paths and taking the top spot on the Southern Star region leaderboard, shocking countless evolutionary and high-level citizens. Ranked 10th in human civilization's evolutionary paths? This Marshall Path evolutionary path is too formidable. Just by uploading the 10th rank chapter, it surged from around 3 to 400th place to 10th. Haha, I told you guys the future of the Marshall Path evolutionary path was immeasurable, but you wouldn't believe me. Countless evolvers began to discuss fervently, as there hadn't been an evolutionary path that reached the top of a major star region while only at the 10th rank since the beginning of the Starry Sea era. Indeed, the human civilization's evolutionary path rankings emphasize potential as one of the main criteria, but to become a Tier 11 evolutionary path, doesn't low potential? Thunder Rain Star Region. Lulan He, 1.5 meters tall, suddenly leaped up. I said the Marshall Path evolutionary path was quite good. Lulan He was extremely excited. He can be considered a witness to the Marshall Path evolutionary path. When the Marshall Path evolutionary path was only at the 2nd layer, he took notice of it and began to cultivate it. He even defied his father's will for this. Father. Lulan He immediately began to contact his father. Little He. The ethereal figure of Lulan Yu appeared in front of him. Father, have you seen the latest ranking of the Marshall Path evolutionary path? Lulan He said excitedly. I have seen it. Lulan Yu spoke gravely. The hottest topic inside human civilization at the moment was the Marshall Path evolutionary path. Even the different species were aware of it. Your choice was very good. Lulan Yu looked at his son. Keep cultivating on the Marshall Path evolutionary path. Because Lulan Yu said this, but did not continue. Because of what? Lulan He asked cheerfully. Because Lulan Yu looked solemn, his tone tinged with emotion. this could very well be our human civilization's 10th supreme evolutionary path. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 5, 9th Level Citizen. Please subscribe. The current popularity of the Martial Path evolutionary path has even surpassed the 9 great supreme evolution paths. Several days later, on the Milky Way main star, Lin Yuan casually glanced at the changes in the Martial Path evolutionary path after its update and was amazed. Since the Starry Sea era, the Supreme Evolution Path has always been the most popular evolutionary path in human civilization. It symbolizes the ultimate in a particular evolutionary road, coveted by countless evolvers. For the vast majority of evolvers, if they had a choice, they would definitely prioritize cultivating the Supreme Evolution Path. The only drawback of the Supreme Evolution Path is that its upper limit is locked at Tier 11, with no chance for an ultimate leap. But what of it? Tier 11 is already a goal too lofty for nearly all evolvers to even dream of. Compared to other evolution paths, every realm within the Supreme Evolution Path is extremely well developed and even perfect. In a battle between evolvers of the same rank, under normal circumstances, if all other aspects of their abilities and foundations are equal, the one who cultivates the Supreme Evolution Path will be stronger by quite a few notches. Hence, the popularity of the 9 great Supreme Evolution Paths in human civilization is beyond doubt. However, Lin Yuan could clearly feel now that the frequency of discussions about the Martial Path evolutionary path on the virtual network has surpassed the 9 great Supreme Evolution Paths. This is not to say that the Martial Path evolutionary path has outstripped the Supreme Evolution Path. Rather, in more than 2 million years, no other evolutionary path has managed to reach a level just below the Supreme Evolution Path at the 10th rank. If 10th rank could already overwhelm Tier 11, what would happen when the Martial Path evolutionary path advances to Tier 11? As a result, countless evolvers in human civilization speculate that the Martial Path evolutionary path might possibly become human civilization's 10th Supreme Evolution Path. The 10th Supreme Evolution Path. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly, as he had no certainty of crossing into the ultimate. Once failed, even with the protection of the door to the Myriad Realms, he didn't know if he would survive. The number of people practicing the Martial Path evolutionary path has started to surge dramatically in the past few days. Lin Yuan called up the specific data for the Martial Path evolutionary path and started watching it seriously. First tier chapter, 26 trillion. Second layer chapter, 832 billion. Third rank chapter, 4 billion. Fourth rank chapter, 120 billion. Fifth stage section, 53 million. Sixth rank chapter, 860,000. Seventh rank chapter, 17,000. Eighth layer part, 0. 100 years have passed, and not a single martial arts evolutionary has entered the 8th layer? Lin Yuan thought to himself. Compared to more than 100 years ago, the number of practitioners in the Martial Path evolutionary path's first tier chapter to the 4th rank chapter has increased by thousands to tens of thousands of times. The 5th stage section to the 7th rank chapter also increased by several hundred to 1,000-fold. But as for the 8th layer, at least for now, no 8th layer Martial Path evolutionary has registered their realm. Time is still too short. Lin Yuan shook his head inwardly. The Martial Path evolutionary path hasn't even been around for 500 years since it was uploaded. Even with enormous potential, it can't be converted immediately into a final number of high-rank evolvers. The evolution of life is a long process, even with a specific evolutionary path to guide it. It seems I still need to spend time creating more video analyses from the 7th rank peak to the 8th layer. Lin Yuan reflected thoughtfully. Although it isn't specified, the higher the number of high-rank evolvers in his evolution path, the better for his ultimate leap. After all, as the progenitor of the Martial Path evolutionary path, Lin Yuan doesn't have to worry about later Martial Path evolvers posing a threat to him. In fact, any Martial Path evolver, regardless of their realm or bloodline, would naturally be suppressed by Lin Yuan. In over 100 years, The revenue from the Marshall Path evolutionary path has already exceeded 600 billion cubic universe crystals. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. Hundreds of years ago, he was worried about a few thousand or tens of thousands of cubic universe crystals. Now, his net worth has skyrocketed to be calculated in billions of cubic universe crystals. But high revenues also mean substantial costs in cultivation. Lin Yuan thought to himself quietly. So far, his main expense in cultivation comes from one of the 3 Tao-protecting secret skills of the profound yellow lineage, the Xianhuang physique. Xianhuang physique itself was a method fleshed out by infinite resources. Adding to that Lin Yuan's formidable physical foundation, the enhancement of the mysterious gourd, the boost from the eternal spring, the amplification of martial Tao, the infusion from the chaos void origin, and so on. As a result, even a slight enhancement of Lin Yuan's physical strength requires tremendous sacrifices. And the enhancement of Xianhuang physique to the body depends on its original strength, leading to the cost of cultivating this secret technique many times exceeding Lin Yuan's expectations. After all, when Lin Yuan first obtained this secret technique, he never anticipated that his physical foundation would be greatly enhanced again under the chaos void origin infusion. I can vaguely sense those life forces cultivating the Marshall Path evolutionary path, as if they're guided by some inexplicable force. Lin Yuan closed his eyes and focused intently. If one were to picture an expanse of darkness surrounding Lin Yuan at the center, then at this moment, numerous points of light like fireflies began to emerge, each one seemingly feeble when seen alone. But in number, they were vast, spreading out as far as the eye could see, like a wildfire spreading through the night. Could these all become the booster for my ultimate leap? Lin Yuan thought to himself. These sparks of light were not limited to the main universe. Some came from distant places too vague to ascertain. They were likely the life forces of martial Tao cultivators who had spread the martial arts to other dimensions during past travels. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability, Creating and Teaching the Tao in Various Worlds. Chapter 5 9th Level Citizen. Subscribe, please. _2. Spreading one's own evolution path, allowing more beings to cultivate, and ultimately nourishing oneself to propel the ultimate leap. Such means are nothing short of incredible. Lin Yuan thought to himself that this kind of nourishment was not the kind that came from the power of faith, but rather from the path of evolution, basically without any hidden dangers. I wonder which powerful being created this cultivation method? An existence close to a perfect time being? Lin Yuan was quite curious. In the long-gone cosmic era, there was no talk of spreading one's own evolution path. If you wanted to make the ultimate leap, you essentially had to rely on yourself. Take Emperor Xianhuang, for example. He did not spread his evolution path widely because the threshold for the Xianhuang evolutionary path was too high and not suitable for aimless dissemination. It's about time. It's time to advance to a 9th level citizen. Lin Yuan glanced at the balance of his own merit points, 5 billion and 200 million. Out of these, 50 billion merit points were the reward he received after uploading the 10th stage Martial Tao chapter. The remaining 2 billion plus merit points were what Lin Yuan had accumulated over time, including what was left from the last time he uploaded the 9th stage Martial Tao chapter. From an 8th level citizen to a 9th level citizen, 10 billion merit points are needed, equivalent to the value of 10 entry-level 12-star rare treasures. After pondering for a moment, Lin Yuan chose to upgrade his citizen level. In the past, every time he advanced his citizen level, he gained far more than the value of the merit points spent on the advancement itself. The higher the citizen level, the more important it was not just the privileges but also the ability to influence some of the decisions of human civilization. Take Lin Yuan, for instance. He was currently the chief speaker of the North Cold Star Alliance, the highest-ranking individual in hundreds, if not thousands, of star domains, and a single thought from him was enough to determine human civilization's policy towards the surrounding different species. The ordinary tribes within the North Cold Star Alliance, the weaker tribes, or even the other different species tribes nearby, all had to rely on Lin Yuan's influence. Goddess of Wisdom. I wish to now advance to a 9th-level citizen. Lin Yuan immediately connected to the Goddess of Wisdom and made a request to upgrade his citizen level. In an instant, Lin Yuan's 5 billion and more merit points were reduced by 10 billion. At the same time, the citizen level section on Lin Yuan's personal information page quietly changed from 8th to 9th level. 9th level citizen. 9th level citizen of human civilization. This was a weight that not just any star domain, even a star alliance, could hardly bear. Even among the many 11th rank evolvers of human civilization, most were not 9th level citizens. Even for powerful 11th rank evolvers, accumulating 10 billion merit points would require a huge sacrifice. The ancient 10th rank evolver from the Xianyuan family, Xianyuan Fan, who had fought for 1 to 2 million years on the battlefields of different species, had only accumulated 20 million merit points at the end. To gain the opportunity to comprehend the mysteries of a black planet, he had to borrow 80 million merit points on behalf of his family from human civilization to make up a total of 1 billion merit points to complete the transaction with Lin Yuan. If someone ancient like Xianyuan Fan had to do this, 11th rank evolvers with more accumulated merit points would not be too far ahead. Moreover, most evolvers cannot resist the temptation to spend some of their merit points during the accumulation process. Just like Xianyuan Fan, who, wanting to increase his chances of advancing to Tier 11, chose to spend the 20 million merit points he had saved up in advance. After all, merit points have too high a value in human civilization, able to exchange for many unimaginably valuable resources and heritages. It is only a very few, like Lin Yuan, who save up every merit point to upgrade their citizen level. Using merit points to advance citizen level is indeed the most valuable approach, but the greatest value does not mean the highest short-term return.
Whoosh.
Just after Lin Yuan smoothly advanced to a 9th-level citizen, a flurry of emails from the central star field of human civilization were all sent over. These emails, aside from congratulating Lin Yuan, were introductions to the many privileges of a 9th-level citizen. Privileges for a 9th-level citizen. Lin Yuan browsed through the emails one by one. The first were the standard benefits. One would receive a 9th rank evolution elixir. Starting from a 6th level citizen, with each advancement in citizenship level, one would receive a corresponding evolution elixir. Even the lowest 6th rank evolution elixir, it's a specially allocated resource. Even if you have an abundance of cosmic crystals, you cannot buy it. Only merit points can be used to exchange for one, with a 6th rank evolution elixir requiring 10,000 merit points. A 7th rank evolution elixir requires 100,000 merit points. An 8th rank evolution elixir requires 1,000,000 merit points. A 9th rank evolution elixir requires 10 million merit points. Furthermore, to exchange for an evolution elixir, you also need to have the corresponding authorization. Lower level citizens, even if they accumulate enough merit points, cannot make the exchange. The right to participate in the Central Council of Human Civilization. Lin Yuan glanced at the second benefit. The Central Council of Human Civilization is a key meeting that touches on the future direction of the entirety of human civilization, where supreme beings will descend their consciousness to participate, and the 3 goddesses will pay close attention. To be able to participate in such meetings, you need at least a 9th-level citizen status. Not interested. Lin Yuan had no interest in the council. Such a privilege might be invaluable to some citizens adept at maneuvering through politics, but to Lin Yuan, it seemed meaningless. 3 opportunities to immerse in the eternal spring. Lin Yuan's gaze lingered on a particular benefit. The eternal spring, one of the human civilization's 12-star rare treasures, allows any bather to safely extend their lifespan by several 100,000 years. Moreover, during the immersion in the eternal spring, one's physique will undergo slow transformation, improving the potential upper limits. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 5, 9th Level Citizen, Seeking Subscriptions, _3. Once, a supreme being from a different species was willing to exchange an 11-star top-tier rare treasure for a chance to bathe in the eternal spring, to be used on their clan's younger generation. Human civilization did not agree. An 11-star top-tier rare treasure is worth tens of millions of merit points. It was indeed a very sincere offer. Human civilization refused, not because the 11-star top-tier rare treasure was insufficient, but because there were more considerations. Within human civilization, besides obtaining a chance to bathe upon ascending to 9th rank, if one wanted an additional bath, it would cost 5 million merit points per time. Now, ascending to 9th level citizen, the 3 complementary opportunities to bathe in the eternal spring are equivalent to 15 million merit points. There's a chance to let both primordial spirits take a dip. Lin Yuan thought to himself that such opportunities to enhance the potential of the flesh were rare. There's also the privilege of enjoying the exchange discounts from the human civilization treasury. The discount for exchanging civilization coins and cosmic crystals is 60%. The discount for exchanging merit points is 90%. Lin Yuan was overjoyed. So-called civilization coins and cosmic crystal exchanges are the regular and strategic resource exchanges in the human civilization treasury. They can be obtained through civilization coins and cosmic crystals. When Lin Yuan was an 8th level citizen, he also enjoyed corresponding discounts, but at that time it was 80%. Now that he has ascended to a 9th level citizen, he directly benefits from a 60% exchange rate, a reduction of 20%. No one knows how many cosmic crystals it can help Lin Yuan save. As for the discount on exchanging merit points, every merit point exchange in the human civilization treasury is a limited resource, even not open to outsiders. This includes many 12-star rare treasures, many special heritage sites, and places like the Black Planet that are useful for comprehending and amalgamating rules. Even though the discount on merit points exchange is only 10%, what is being saved is merit points, and the rare treasures that are exchanged are extremely rare in the entire cosmic starry sky. With a 10% discount, as long as I exchange for 100 billion merit points worth of rare treasures, I can make up for the merit points spent on my ascension to a 9th level citizen in one stroke. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. This was the effect of elevating the level of citizenship. The short-term gain might not be the greatest, but looking at the long term, the benefits were sure to be extensive and profound. The privileges and advantages of ascending to a 9th level citizen are countless, indeed numbering in the thousands. Lin Yuan briefly went through them, most of which were enhanced versions of those available to 8th level citizens, and the remaining new privileges were equally helpful to him. At the very least, it could save him from many troublesome periods. Merit points needed to ascend to 10th level citizen. After looking through many privileges, Lin Yuan looked towards the conditions for ascending to a 10th level citizen. 50 billion merit points. Lin Yuan's mouth twitched slightly. Such a massive amount of merit points. Even if he converted all the strange objects from the two-dimensional world, it would still be far from enough. Now, aside from the 9 supreme beings in human civilization, there probably aren't many citizens who are 10th level or higher, right? Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. Even for an 11th rank evolver, amassing 50 billion merit points was nearly an impossible feat. Unless one could slaughter their way through a large alien battlefield, it wasn't even worth considering. And slaughter through a large alien battlefield? Even for the 4 divine kings at their peak, it was hard to achieve, as supreme beings could enter the fray at any moment. After all, the rewards ultimately obtained for passing each level of the Black Tower were contingent on one's performance during the challenge. As a 10th rank life form, Lin Yuan's performance in passing the 6th level was undoubtedly top tier, even vastly surpassing the highest standard of performance. Therefore, reflected on the reward list, the level of reward he could choose from was raised by several tiers. The various rewards Lin Yuan had chosen earlier were also of this nature, which is why items like the World Tree and the Source of Metal Essence, both 11-star rarities, appeared on the 2nd-level reward list. 3 rewards. There were only 3 items on the reward list in front of Lin Yuan. They were Infinity World, Cosmic Demise, Heart of Spacetime. Lin Yuan hadn't heard of these 3 rewards, but he had a vague sense that they were incomparably precious, with few equivalents even in the human civilization treasury. Senior Shinji, what are these 3 treasures? Lin Yuan quietly inquired. The infinite world originated from the time when the Tower Master was pursuing the traces of the perfect time being. He discovered a broken world that is suspected to have once been visited by the perfect time being. Stone statue Shinji smiled at Lin Yuan and said, "However, this is just the Tower Master's speculation. Even if it wasn't visited by a perfect time being, it was left by a powerhouse very close to the perfect temporal life. The Tower Master has studied this infinite world for a long time with little gain." Perfect time being? Lin Yuan's expression became slightly solemn. According to Shinji, the infinite world was at least related to a powerhouse nearly equivalent to the perfect time being. So far, Lin Yuan had only come into contact with one such entity. That was the creator of the two-dimensional world. What about cosmic demise? Lin Yuan asked again.
Cosmic demise.
Stone statue Shinji pondered for a while, then continued, "You should know that the cosmos will come to ruin." Yes. Lin Yuan nodded. The cosmos goes from birth to destruction through an unimaginable expanse of long years, a cycle known as a cosmic era. The destruction of the cosmos, the collapse of rules, and the Great Tao, it is a disaster for every 12th rank life in the cosmos, with half or even most of them dying. Cosmic demise is actually a set of replicated imprints that record the whole process of a cosmos's beginning of destruction to complete annihilation. Stone statue Shinji paused for a moment before continuing. The ruin of the cosmos is a disaster, but also an opportunity. If one can carefully experience the process of the collapse of myriad rules and great Taos, it can greatly enhance one's understanding of rules. I see. Lin Yuan nodded, immediately realizing the value of this record of cosmic demise. To replicate the complete event of cosmic demise, one must be a 12th rank life in the cosmos. Yet facing the grand destruction of the cosmos, all 12th rank lives that have not survived a cosmic era are extremely cautious and careful. How could they spare the effort to replicate this scene? And to replicate, one must survive the entire round of cosmic destruction, which is essentially a death wish. Lastly, the heart of space-time. Stone statue Shinji looked at Lin Yuan. Once fused with the heart of space-time, any being below the 12th rank can extend their time of liberation from the river of time. Extending the time of liberation from the river of time? Lin Yuan took a deep breath. He immediately realized the greatest use of the heart of space-time. It was to attempt the ultimate. For an 11th rank life to attempt the ultimate, they need to take the ultimate leap, to propel all of themselves out of the river of time and make a major transcendence of their life essence above the river of time. During this period, the time an 11th rank life remains above the river of time is very limited. If they could extend this duration, it would definitely enhance the probability of achieving the ultimate. An 11th rank powerhouse attempting the ultimate leaps out of the river of time, which is a completely different concept from Lin Yuan being taken out of the river of time by the Xia-Qin Supreme Being. When an 11th rank life attempts the ultimate, leaping out of the river of time will be resisted and suppressed by the entire river of time. For the river of time itself, an 11th rank life attempting the ultimate is akin to a fish in its own river striving to break free forever. Naturally, it will do everything to prevent it. Whereas Xia-Qin Supreme Being taking Lin Yuan out of the river of time was only temporary, so even if it causes backlash from the river of time, it won't be too severe. 3 treasures, which do you choose? Stone statue Shinji looked at Lin Yuan and spoke. Heart of space-time, Lin Yuan said without hesitation. The origins of Infinity World are immeasurable, at least connected to a great entity close to the perfect temporal life. But if Lin Yuan does not achieve the ultimate, the Infinity World, no matter how mystical, would be meaningless. As for cosmic demise, it might be significant and effective for a supreme being, but for Lin Yuan, it was slightly beyond what he needed. In simple terms, Both Infinity World and Cosmic Demise were indeed precious, but the most immediate challenge Lin Yuan needed to overcome was attempting the ultimate. Without achieving the ultimate, both would be like flowers in a mirror or the moon reflected on the water. Therefore, choosing the heart of space-time, Lin Yuan had no hesitation. Extending the time spent above the river of space-time. Lin Yuan had never even heard of such a method before. The treasures and rare items currently possessed by human civilization to increase the probability of achieving the ultimate, such as the source of the universe, mainly worked on enhancing the foundation of the one attempting the ultimate, which is entirely a different type from the effects of the heart of space-time. For example, if attaining the ultimate is likened to an examination, then the source of the universe's effect would be akin to the examinee furiously studying before the exam to increase the chances of scoring high. Whereas the heart of space-time would be akin to directly lowering the difficulty of the paper, achieving the effect of a high score. While the goal is the same, the principles are utterly different. Okay. Stone statue Shinji nodded. At the same time, a crystal that looked like a heart appeared before Lin Yuan. The crystal was colorless and transparent, and Lin Yuan could vaguely sense that it was slowly beating. I should head back now, said Lin Yuan as he put away the heart of space-time and promptly took his leave. Stone statue Shinji nodded, watching Lin Yuan disappear on the spot. The heart of space-time. Stone statue Shinji fell silent. In truth, such a rare treasure as the heart of space-time was not a possession from the reward treasuries of the 6th, 7th, or even 8th layer. It originated from the core heritage treasury of Moyu Tower, a treasure that only the direct disciples of Moyu Tower, those on the verge of making the ultimate breakthrough, were qualified to enjoy. By all accounts, Lin Yuan was only a core member of Moyu Tower. He shouldn't even be eligible to know about such rare treasures, let alone acquire the heart of space-time. But Moyu Tower today was no longer the Moyu Tower of the past. Stone statue Shinji was well aware that if they still adhered to the strict requirements for such rare treasures as the heart of space-time, they'd probably decay without ever being used. Direct disciples of Moyu Tower? One needed to be personally scrutinized by the Moyu Tower Master to have a chance to become one. But now, the Moyu Tower Master had been missing for countless years, effectively eliminating the possibility of producing a direct disciple. Milky Way main star. Lin Yuan's spirit will return, bringing back 3 treasures and rare gems. I've really struck it rich this time. Lin Yuan felt exhilarated. He had anticipated the origin source of metal and the secret skill, Milky Way, previously. But the heart of space-time? Lin Yuan had never imagined he could obtain such a rare treasure. The heart of space-time. With a thought from Lin Yuan, the heart-shaped crystal appeared before him, beating slowly, emitting an indescribable aura. Place it in the Xianhuang's secret realm. With a thought, Lin Yuan's true body entered the deepest part of the Xianhuang's secret realm and solemnly placed the heart of space-time within it. The Xianhuang's secret realm was, to Lin Yuan's knowledge, the safest place, where even supreme beings could not enter. It was not an exaggeration to call it absolutely secure. A moment later, Lin Yuan's mind gradually calmed down. Although the effects of the heart of space-time were heaven-defying, capable of directly reducing the difficulty of making the ultimate breakthrough, if his own foundation was insufficient, he would still fail to break through to the ultimate. At least, stone statue Shinji never said that integrating the heart of space-time would lead to a 100% success rate in becoming the ultimate. There was no such method in the entire chaos void. I still need to deepen my own foundation. Lin Yuan collected his thoughts and took out the ball of golden light. That was the origin source of metal.
Sigh.
Following that, a bell-shaped weapon appeared, emanating wisps of suppressive force. It was Lin Yuan's origin clock that he had been nurturing up to now.
Man.
Lin Yuan infused the origin source of metal into the origin clock. Rumble, rumble. Having devoured the origin source of metal, the origin clock immediately began to transform, its aura retracting, rapidly reaching the 10th rank summit, and in the blink of an eye, it pushed into Tier 11, still swiftly climbing. I estimate that after completely absorbing the origin source of metal, it will become an 11th rank peak weapon. By then, once I step into Tier 11, with the compatibility of the origin clock and myself, it will be no worse than any ordinary supreme weapon. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Even if the origin clock reached the 11th rank peak, it would still be far inferior to a supreme weapon. But other 11th rank evolvers also couldn't bring out the full prowess of supreme weapons. Unless the supreme weapon contained a contingency from a supreme being, the potency of the origin clock would not be inferior to that of other 11th rank powerhouses wielding supreme weapons. Lin Yuan also placed the origin clock in the Xianhuang's secret realm, allowing it to transform slowly. Lin Yuan then returned to the Milky Way main star, the secret skill Milky Way. Lin Yuan immediately took out the crystal stone, which held the secret skill, Milky Way. After a pause, Lin Yuan immediately sent a sliver of his spirit will into the crystal, beginning to receive the vast messages of the secret skill, Milky Way. Wonderful! Upon comprehension, Lin Yuan was overjoyed. Compared to the 3 Tao-protecting secret skills of the profound yellow lineage, Milky Way was more comprehensive, containing the mysteries of space-time, mainly covering the essence of space-time fusion rules from the 6-fold realm to the 9th realm. Lin Yuan chose this secret skill, also to prepare for when his own space-time fusion rules reached the 6-fold realm. As Lin Yuan immersed himself in comprehending the secret skill, Milky Way, a surge from the depths of his mind woke him. Lin Yuan's consciousness quickly sank into the depths of his mind, looking towards the majestic and grand door to the Myriad Realms. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 9 Heaven, Earth, Humans, Ghosts, Gods. All worship martial ancestor. Subscription requested. What's going on? Lin Yuan stared at the towering door to the Myriad Realms. He immediately realized that the fluctuation did not come from the door to the Myriad Realms. Instead, it was transmitted from the many worlds connected to the door to the Myriad Realms. The door to the Myriad Realms was merely a transfer point, just a medium. Which world did it come from? Lin Yuan looked towards the bottom of the door to the Myriad Realms, where 10 world coordinates were sequentially engraved. They represented the 9 worlds Lin Yuan had previously traveled through and the immortal realm, which he had not yet descended into. Tianqing World? Lin Yuan's gaze landed on the world mark of Tianqing World. The source of the disturbance was indeed Tianqing World. Before Lin Yuan descended into Tianqing World, that place was facing an invasion by a foreign evil god. At that time, Lin Yuan took control of a branch of the ancestral demon tree, the foreign evil god, and ultimately replaced the ancestral demon tree, replacing the heavenly Tao of Tianqing World. He became the absolute dominion of that world. Lin Yuan had a significant impression of Tianqing World, because the so-called Tianqing World is but a small world within the boundless void. Beyond Tianqing World lays the playground of the evil gods. Unfortunately, Lin Yuan was short on time after replacing the heavenly Tao of Tianqing World, and his stay was nearly up. He couldn't continue to explore the boundless void beyond the world. However, because of becoming the heavenly Tao of Tianqing World and leveraging the body of the ancestral demon tree left behind, he could, through the door to the Myriad Realms, barely communicate between the 2 worlds. Even if he didn't descend to Tianqing World, he could still transmit messages through the ancestral demon tree and roughly get some information about Tianqing World. When he had just returned from Tianqing World, Lin Yuan was quite interested in it and often inquired about the development of Tianqing World. But as time went on, he let it go, only receiving the ancestral demon tree's regular reports every so often and not paying much attention.
But now?
The body of the ancestral demon tree in Tianqing World had taken the initiative to send messages to Lin Yuan. In the contingencies Lin Yuan had left behind, only in an extremely urgent situation would this happen. Lin Yuan's consciousness immediately began to follow the coordinates of Tianqing World, receiving messages from the ancestral demon tree. Another invasion by a foreign evil god? Lin Yuan looked thoughtful, contemplating the ratio of the time flow speed between Tianqing World and the main universe. It was 600 to 1. 600 years had passed in Tianqing World. Only 1 year had passed in the main universe. And it had been about 300 years since Lin Yuan ended his traversal of Tianqing World. That is to say, nearly 200,000 years had already passed there. Could it be those two foreign evil gods invading Tianqing World? Lin Yuan thought to himself, quietly. After replacing the ancestral demon tree, he had also inherited its network. At that time, beyond Tianqing World, besides the ancestral demon tree, there were also two ancient foreign evil gods lurking. These two foreign evil gods behind likely had even more powerful foreign evil gods standing with them. After Lin Yuan became the heavenly Tao of Tianqing World, he had some interactions with those two foreign evil gods and vaguely realized that they seemed to harbor ill intentions toward him, because they had more than once invited him to explore a certain secret realm in the boundless void. But Lin Yuan had flatly refused them since he didn't have much time left and only wanted to peacefully secure Tianqing World. As for the opportunity of the secret realm in the foreign boundless void, the risk was too great and did not align with the goals Lin Yuan had set. Moreover, Lin Yuan also kept his guard up against those two foreign evil gods, understanding that the relationship between evil gods was almost equivalent to having no relationship at all. If it were within their power, those two foreign evil gods would not hesitate to devour Lin Yuan. After hundreds of thousands of years, why suddenly think of invading Tianqing World? Lin Yuan was slightly curious. Evil gods invade worlds but also look at the situation. Tianqing World had the ancestral demon tree as its stronghold. It had many contingencies left by Lin Yuan. Those two foreign evil gods would have to pay a harsh price to conquer Tianqing World, where the cost completely outweighed the gain. Moreover, just with those two foreign evil gods, the chances were high that they couldn't take down Tianqing World. Now that the ancestral demon tree was reaching out to him, they probably used a higher level of tactics. And such tactics, being extremely precious, were simply not worth using to invade Tianqing World. It must be that some changes have occurred in Tianqing World over these hundreds of thousands of years. Or perhaps some changes in the boundless void prompted those two foreign evil gods to forcefully invade. Lin Yuan thought to himself, what should I do now? Lin Yuan stroked his chin. The ancestral demon tree had sent a distress signal, clearly stating that the situation in Tianqing World had become extremely dire. It had far surpassed the time when Lin Yuan had originally descended, and the power of those two foreign evil gods had already penetrated into Tianqing World. Under such circumstances, if Lin Yuan did nothing, the entire Tianqing World would change hands. Very well. I shall descend once more. Lin Yuan had made up his mind. To Lin Yuan, Tianqing World still held many unknown secrets and many terrifying and powerful evil gods that ravaged world after world. The upper limit of Tianqing World was not high, but beyond it, the mysterious boundless void had a much higher ceiling. According to Lin Yuan's estimation, the entire boundless void, even if not comparable to the immortal realm, was not far off, where the strongest evil god might reach the 11th rank peak. This time, Lin Yuan's redescent to Tianqing World took in 3 considerations. Firstly, Tianqing World was literally his backyard, where the martial path evolutionary path was supreme, the most populous world among the many Lin Yuan had traversed with martial Tao cultivators. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 9. Heaven, Earth, humans, ghosts, gods, all worship martial ancestor, seeking subscriptions, _2. After hundreds of thousands of years of development, the martial Tao cultivation system in the Tianqing World had become the only one, which was an achievement other worlds could not replicate. In other traversing worlds, Lin Yuan still needed to consider the impact of the world's consciousness, but in Tianqing world, Lin Yuan himself was the world consciousness. Within the Tianqing world, the number of martial Dao cultivators was incalculable. All of these would become the support for Lin Yuan's ultimate leap in the future, and he could not just give them up easily. The second reason was to explore the secrets of the mysterious, boundless void beyond the Tianqing world. When Lin Yuan had left the Tianqing world, he had been only at the 7th rank, incapable of exploring the more vast and expansive boundless void. But now Lin Yuan was already at the 10th rank, and moreover, he was a heaven-defying 10th rank comparable to the peak of Tier 11. Starting from the 4th layer of Tier 11, including the 5th layer, all could be considered the peak of Tier 11. As for the 6th tier, that was the perfection of Tier 11. With Lin Yuan's current strength, throughout the entire boundless void, not to say he was the strongest, but he was likely not far off, which was just the right time to descend and see, while also taking advantage of the different flow rates of time between the two worlds to quickly comprehend the 5-layered realm of space-time fusion rules. As for the last aspect to consider, the cost-effectiveness was just too high. Having the identity of the heavenly Tao of the Tianqing world, Lin Yuan connecting the two worlds, if he chose to descend again, the cost of the world-breaking origin force would be only 1/3 of a strand. That's right. Not 3 strands, nor 1 strand, but 1/3 of a strand. If Lin Yuan chose to traverse again now, except for the immortal realm, he would probably only be able to custom traverse. Lin Yuan's level of strength was too powerful. In the myriad realms of the heavens and the endless dimensional planes, there were few worlds that could provide Lin Yuan with aid. If he chose random traversal, he estimated that even after hundreds or thousands of times, it would be meaningless. And then there was the Tianqing world, although not as supreme as the immortal realm, but it was cheap, wasn't it? With 1/3 of a strand of world-breaking origin force, what other requirements could there be? And those foreign evil gods, wielding numerous talents and authoritative powers, involved many mysterious rules. Last time in the Tianqing world, Lin Yuan could only study the ancestral demon tree. Lacking in numbers, this time it was just right to capture more foreign evil gods for study, which might help enhance his own cultivation. That is the boundless void different from the main universe, and even the dimension where chaos void exists. The differences between dimensions, even those beings approaching perfect time beings, find it difficult to make contact. The low-dimensional space in that piece of white paper is the product of a being close to a perfect time being exploring the lower-dimensional worlds. Lin Yuan, with the aid of the door to the myriad realms, can research at will and naturally must seize this opportunity. Having decided to descend to the Tianqing world again, Lin Yuan made some preparations. Traversing through worlds, Lin Yuan's consciousness would leave along the door to the myriad realms, and by that time his physical body would be akin to an empty shell. Of course, with the door to the myriad realms maintained, even if Lin Yuan's consciousness was in other dimensional worlds, he could sense the situations around his true spiritual body and could completely stop the traversal and forcefully return at any necessary moment. Almost there. A moment later, Lin Yuan's consciousness came before the door to the myriad realms again. Actually, there wasn't much to prepare, as the 12 guiding spaces of the Black Planet, Lin Yuan had already completely comprehended, and the incarnation place there had long returned. So even if the spirit will left, it wouldn't delay anything. The few effects that remain concern the incarnation situated in the Xiaoyu Evolution Tower, currently comprehending the cosmic aurora. But Lin Yuan had just told Xiaqin Supreme Being, because of reasons related to cultivation, he needed to withdraw all incarnations. Inside each incarnation, there was a strand of spirit will of the corresponding powerhouse, and withdrawing this strand of spirit will, for the sake of ensuring one's own condition, is quite common among human civilizations evolvers. As for the myriad tribes' powerhouses' comprehension of the spatio-temporal fusion rules and other 5 light orbs, to be strict, these 5 light orbs are also considered items. As long as Lin Yuan is willing to pay the world-breaking origin force, he can freely bring them into the Tianqing world. Now, Lin Yuan's accumulated world-breaking origin force was already close to 1,000 strands, which qualifies as financially robust, able to afford bringing those 5 light orbs into the Tianqing world. This time, the stay will again be 600 years. If all goes well, once the traversal ends, a year will have passed in the main world. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, silently thinking. Almost there. Let's begin. Lin Yuan looked towards the majestic and grand door to the Myriad Realms and immediately chose to traverse. Due to the difference in the flow rate of time, every second in the main universe translates into 600 times the time flow rate in the Tianqing world. And given the current situation in the Tianqing world, already breached by those 2 foreign evil gods, any further delay would have an even greater impact on the entire world. The next instant, all of Lin Yuan's spirit will surge into the door to the Myriad Realms. This spirit will include his true body, as well as the 2 primordial spirits. Fortunately, Lin Yuan had already placed the 2 primordial spirits in safe locations, so no issues would arise. Tianqing World. Upon the vast lands, endless evil god puppets wreaked havoc, and a terrifying crack appeared in the sky dome, with a multitude of evil god puppets rapidly pouring in. Beyond that terrifying crack, faintly stood 2 towering figures, sinister and evil aura pervaded, their blood-red eyes staring into the world. The beings of the Tianqing world, having to resist the invasion of the evil gods, were forced to come to the central part of the world, under the world tree that supported the heavens and the earth. Protected by the power of the world tree, as the heaven-reaching vine branches gently swayed, billions upon billions of evil god puppets were annihilated. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 9. Heaven, Earth, Man, Ghosts and Gods. All worship martial ancestor. Subscription requested. _3. Without the world tree, the entire Tianqing world would have probably been breached long ago. Where would the resistance come from? Outside the world. 2 colossal foreign evil gods gazed intently. The Pavilion Master's methods are indeed unfathomable. Just one strike, and he tore apart the barrier of this world. The foreign evil god on the left sent out mental fluctuations, faintly brimming with astonishment. Without the Pavilion Master's methods, the 2 of them, as foreign evil gods, would not even talk about invading the Tianqing world. They wouldn't be able to approach it, and would be repelled by the ancestral demon tree. It was precisely with the Pavilion Master's methods that they managed to severely injure the ancestral demon tree and tear apart the world barrier, successfully invading. It's a pity that even after heavily injuring the ancestral demon tree, the adversary still has the strength to resist our soul talent pressure. Otherwise, all creatures within this entire world would have fallen into the nightmare world we created. The foreign evil god on the right shook its head, somewhat regretfully. That demon tree, after tens of thousands of years, its strength has become so formidable, even the Pavilion Master's methods couldn't annihilate it. The foreign evil god on the left was equally surprised. They knew how fearsome the Pavilion Master was. Over 100,000 years ago, he had conquered a certain secret realm and greatly increased his strength, far surpassing that of ordinary evil gods like themselves. It's just that it doesn't mean much. Under the Pavilion Master's methods, it's already severely injured. If it weren't for our reluctance to sustain damage, we could have invaded the world by now. The foreign evil god on the right spoke. With the ancestral demon tree heavily injured, they had the power to invade, but they felt that they would be harmed by the frenzied ancestral demon tree, which was why they did not continue. After all, the world barrier had already been torn. The rest was merely a matter of time. They just needed to continue to slowly erode the last bit of the ancestral demon tree's strength, and then they could take the Tianqing world unharmed. The world tree supported the heavens and earth, with countless martial Tao cultivators hiding in its trunk, resisting the soul talent suppression from the foreign evil gods. After tens of thousands of years of development, and under Lin Yuan's secret guidance, in the Tianqing world, martial Tao was revered above all. As for the world tree, it was nothing more than a backup plan left by the great martial ancestor. And the martial ancestor was the origin of martial cultivation in the Tianqing world. Without the martial ancestor, the Tianqing world would have been destroyed long before in a previous evil god invasion. Therefore, for all beings in the Tianqing world, and for the countless martial Tao cultivators, there was only one belief in their hearts. That was the martial ancestor. As for the world tree, sheltering the Tianqing world for tens of thousands of years, it too was a contingency left by the martial ancestor. At the very top of the world tree, where the canopy resides, it was like a vast continent where countless martial Tao cultivators lived, and this place was also the Tianqing world's last barrier. Even if the mortal lands were occupied by the evil gods, as long as the canopy continent was not lost, the beings of the Tianqing world still had a chance, a hope. In the central-most part of the canopy, a temple stood erect. This place was the martial hall, and also the place where the golden body of the martial ancestor was enshrined, considered the sacred realm for all creatures of the Tianqing world. No one in the Tianqing world had seen the martial ancestor, but the myth of the martial ancestor was present everywhere, and every once in a while, the high priest of the martial hall would lead the beings to worship the martial ancestor. To be precise, in Tianqing world, it is not just all living beings who worship the martial ancestor, but also all things, and even the whole world itself. During each sacrificial ceremony, the heavens and the earth roar. Inside the martial hall, priests moved about, and the many martial Tao cultivators on the canopy continent, who had suffered the ravages of the evil god puppets on the human lands, were also extremely anxious. They had even held several martial ancestor worship ceremonies in succession, hoping to seek the help of the martial ancestor to repel the foreign evil god and save the living beings of Tianqing world. But so far, it had not been of much use. The evil god puppets were still rampaging. However, the living beings had not begun to doubt their faith in the martial ancestor. In the deepest part of the martial hall, a statue of a majestic man was enshrined there. This was the golden body of the martial ancestor, acquired through the world tree's knowledge about the martial ancestor's partial true form and stature. In fact, this golden body of the martial ancestor was none other than what Lin Yuan had commanded the ancestral demon tree to create, spending over 100,000 years using the entire Tianqing world as the mother body, pouring in an untold amount of origin power and ultimately nurturing the strongest physique. The purpose was to prepare for Lin Yuan's consciousness descent. This way, Lin Yuan was spared a great deal of time starting from scratch. With 100,000 years spent by the ancestral demon tree, drawing upon the infinite origin power of Tianqing, there was no point at all. Didn't the myriad tentacle stream resist? Outside the Tianqing world, deep within the boundless void, a number of foreign evil gods were observing the situation in the Tianqing world with an attitude of watching a drama unfold. However, when they saw the huge body of the myriad tentacle stream rapidly disintegrate into the most origin source of energy, completely swallowed by the Tianqing world, and then its presence nearly vanished, they immediately widened their eyes. What happened? What's the situation with the myriad tentacle stream? Has it fallen? Or has it been suppressed? The numerous foreign evil gods indeed enjoyed seeing changes occur in the Tianqing world. But they never expected such changes to be so fierce, so exaggerated. In the eyes of the foreign evil gods, so-called changes were merely some obstacles that made the magic eye and myriad tentacle stream suffer, requiring them to pay a greater price to conquer the Tianqing world. As for being counter-killed or counter-suppressed, no evil god dared to entertain such thoughts, because the probability was too low. The myriad tentacle stream and magic eye, these two foreign evil gods wielding the trump cards given by the Black Demon Pavilion's master, who could counter-kill them, who could suppress them. Magic eye. The annihilation of the myriad tentacle stream startled the evil gods, and they quickly turned their gaze toward the magic eye not far away. Under the watchful eyes of all the foreign evil gods, The magic eye, with half of its body trapped inside the world, did not hesitate to abandon the trapped half, as the remaining giant eye, like a dog that had lost its home, frantically fled from the Tianqing world. Before the numerous foreign evil gods could react, inside the Tianqing world, a colossal hand suddenly reached out. The hand, millions upon millions of miles large, easily captured the frantically fleeing half-eyeball and swiftly pulled it back into the Tianqing world. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It took but a few breaths' time. On the world barrier of the Tianqing world, the two huge cracks rapidly healed and finally disappeared from sight. Silence. All the observing foreign evil gods fell silent. They had never imagined that such a reversal would occur. Within the Tianqing world, a mysterious existence had suppressed both the Myriad tentacle stream and demonic eye, two foreign evil gods bestowed with bottom-line measures from the Black Demon Pavilion's master. Especially the last scene they had witnessed, where the demonic eye, having abandoned half its body and thinking it had escaped certain death, hadn't had the chance to breathe a sigh of relief before it was harshly snatched back by that grand hand that filled the sky. What in the world? What in the world happened? What existence could there possibly be within that world? Each of the foreign evil gods trembled in their hearts as they looked towards the Tianqing world, a chilling terror suddenly arising within them. In the eyes of such foreign evil gods, any world was a delicacy, a source of sustenance, but at this moment, the Tianqing world was making every one of them scalp tingle, wishing they could flee from it immediately. The trouble has been resolved. Lin Yuan casually suppressed demonic eye and took it in, then once again observed the Tianqing world to see if there were any fish that slipped the net. After checking several times, Lin Yuan then turned and returned to the Canopy continent before the martial hall. "I've seen the martial ancestor." High Priest Qingyao immediately greeted Lin Yuan with an utmost respectful bow. Positioned at the highest point in the Tianqing world, High Priest Qingyao had seen everything with crystal clarity. Two infinitely fierce foreign evil gods, before Lin Yuan, were like two chickens awaiting slaughter, incapable of even a hint of resistance, easily suppressed. This scene greatly shocked High Priest Qingyao, and it was only at this moment that she realized the true extent of the existence of the martial ancestor that the countless beings of the Tianqing world had worshipped day and night for hundreds of thousands of years. "I am going to seclude myself. Do not disturb me unless there's something important." Lin Yuan spoke briefly and then walked directly into the martial hall. The doors of the martial hall slowly closed behind him. "Martial ancestor." High Priest Qingyao's voice trembled, and then she turned around, looked down at the countless martial Dao cultivators and all beings, and murmured to herself, "We have survived." Inside the martial hall, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. In front of him floated two misty forms, the life cores of the demonic eye and myriad tentacle stream. These two evil gods. Lin Yuan's spirit will was incredibly strong, easily completely refining the two life cores and becoming intimately familiar with all their memories. Whether it was the demonic eye or the myriad tentacle stream, most of their memories were of a state of madness, roaming the boundless void, fighting and devouring other foreign evil gods, discovering worlds, and then attempting to invade and devour them. Until they met the Black Demon Pavilion's master, and realizing they were utterly powerless to resist, they chose to submit. Their power is somewhat interesting. Lin Yuan studied with care.
Moments later.
Lin Yuan seemed thoughtful as he took up the misty forms again. Speaking of which, although this physical body is innate strong, deeply rooted, and extraordinarily fitting for martial Tao, has it not embarked upon the martial path evolutionary path? Lin Yuan pondered silently. It was like a naturally strong person who hadn't learned any martial techniques. By cultivating the martial Tao cultivation evolution path with this physique, it will certainly be able to discover deeper potential in the physical body and, moreover, give birth to a fifth physical body divine ability. Lin Yuan's eyes shone bright. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 12. The fifth physical body divine ability. Please subscribe. The physical body divine ability originates from the depths of the bloodline. When Lin Yuan arrived in the central divine China world, he integrated the essence of body cultivation into martial Tao, and thus possessed a certain ability. Normally speaking, the thicker the foundation of the physical body, the higher the rank of the physical body divine ability that would be born. For example, in the world of gods, Lin Yuan's body possessed the bloodline of the dragon clan. Ultimately, the physical body divine ability that was born was the elemental body, capable of being immune to 90% of the attacks at the same level in terms of rules. And speaking of a profound foundation, none of Lin Yuan's 9 traverses compared to the present. The inexhaustible origin source of the heaven-tilt martial world took more than 100,000 years to gestate into form, and then nurtured the martial ancestor golden body for another 100,000 years. But in terms of foundation, Lin Yuan even felt he wasn't far behind those unique and special beings of the main universe. A body such as this, once excavated through the martial path evolutionary path, what rank would the condensed physical body divine ability be? There shouldn't be a problem. Lin Yuan examined himself, and to facilitate his descent, this martial ancestor golden body was also a flesh and blood body, meeting all the prerequisites for condensing a physical body divine ability. Let's start cultivating. Lin Yuan's thoughts converged, and his mind sank into immersion. In his past 9 traverses, if Lin Yuan wanted to cultivate, to recover his strength, he would inevitably need a large amount of external resources. There was no shackles to his realm, but the accumulation of energy was also a must.
But now?
This martial ancestor golden body itself contained energy that could be called the energy of an entire world. Otherwise, Lin Yuan could not have easily suppressed those 2 foreign evil gods. And as the heavens will of Tianqing world, with a single thought, Lin Yuan could use everything in Tianqing world for himself. Therefore, the Lin Yuan who fell into cultivation at this moment did not have any delay at all. Just one breath. He had entered the threshold of the first rank martial Tao. 10 breaths, second layer, martial Tao. 50 breaths, martial Tao third rank. Half an incense stick, 4th stage martial Tao. 1 incense stick, martial Tao 5th stage. Half an hour, 6th stage martial Tao. And at the 6th stage martial Tao, one begins to unlock the power deep within the bloodline, which is also the stage of the martial path evolutionary path, where a physical body divine ability is born. Lin Yuan carefully felt his own body, vaguely sensing that a certain power in the depths of his body was beginning to coalesce and sublimate. I can feel it. This body's condensed physical body divine ability will definitely surpass the previous 4 types. A sense of expectation faintly emerged in Lin Yuan's heart. So far, Lin Yuan possessed a total of 4 physical body divine abilities. They were blood rebirth, mountain moving, strengthening, elemental body. Through past experiences of condensing physical body divine abilities, Lin Yuan felt that the divine ability his body was condensing this time would definitely be extraordinary. Of course, it is hard to say there is a true hierarchy among physical body divine abilities. They yield different effects under different circumstances. But the imprint aura that is coalescing in Lin Yuan's body has a sense of supremacy over the previous 4 physical body divine abilities. At this rate, to completely form the imprint of the divine ability deep within the body, it might take several years or even decades. Lin Yuan pondered within his heart, but soon shook his head. That would be the normal situation, which is the time that a regular martial arts evolutionary would need to reach 6th rank during cultivation. But Lin Yuan is not a regular martial arts evolutionary. He is the ancestor of martial arts, and having undergone 9 cycles of rebirth and reconstruction, along with the minutiae manipulation of the physical body from the main universe, Lin Yuan can completely accelerate the speed of the divine ability imprint's formation without any hidden dangers, thus allowing the physical body divine ability to condense earlier. About 3 to 4 days, Lin Yuan estimated. That is to say, in 3 to 4 days, the divine ability imprint deep in his body would be completely condensed. Continue to cultivate. While Lin Yuan focused on the rapid coalescing of the divine ability imprint deep within, he continued to cultivate. Now, he was only at 6th stage martial Tao, still some distance from his prime strength. As for not cultivating during the process of condensing the physical body divine ability to avoid interference with the formation, if it were during his initial condensation of a physical body divine ability, Lin Yuan might have been concerned about this aspect.
But now,
Lin Yuan naturally didn't need to consider this. There was no helping it. Lin Yuan's realm was too high, and his control over the microscopic domains of his body was too strong. Many taboos related to cultivation, in Lin Yuan's eyes, seemed as if they did not exist at all. Outside the martial hall, the high priest Qingyao stood before a group of powerful beings from the Tianqing world. High priest, are you saying that those two invading evil gods were suppressed by the arrival of the martial ancestor? An old man with white hair asked in disbelief. They, too, had seen the battle that had just taken place, where the two foreign evil gods vanished like ants. But they had not determined who the existence that had made the move was. Now, after the high priest's explanation, one can imagine the shock in their hearts. Martial ancestor. The legendary martial ancestor has descended? What else could it be? Besides the martial ancestor, who else could possess such means? Who else would protect us all? The high priest Qingyao spoke slowly, barely having fully recovered from the shock of the martial ancestor's action even now. First, the martial ancestor, who had been worshipped by the beings of the Tianqing world for hundreds of thousands of years, had actually appeared. Second, the martial ancestor was too powerful, so powerful that the two foreign evil gods, which could almost destroy the world, seemed like a joke in comparison. The martial ancestor is merciful, proclaimed the white-haired old man, believing it immediately. He discreetly glanced towards the great doors of the martial hall, his eyes glowing with deep reverence. It was not just him. The other martial Dao cultivators on the scene felt the same, because they all subtly sensed that, as they gazed into the depths of the martial hall, their own cultivation in the martial path trembled with a sensation of reverence and worship, as if they had laid eyes on the ultimate source of all martial paths in the world. This feeling had never occurred, even when faced with the martial ancestor golden body. Therefore, with just a brief explanation from the high priest, there was no question in the minds of everyone present. The martial ancestor needs to go into seclusion for a while. During this time, unless it's a significant matter, there's no need to disturb the martial ancestor, said High Priest Qingyao immediately. Yes, replied the numerous martial Dao cultivators with utmost respect, ready to guard the entrance of the martial hall with utmost diligence, ensuring that the martial ancestor's seclusion would be undisturbed. In the depths of the boundless void, in front of a massive secret realm floating in the void, a towering figure sat cross-legged. This towering figure, a monster with 18 arms, emitted a lunatic and strange aura that spread into all directions. This imposing silhouette was none other than the Black Demon Pavilion's master, a formidable being that instilled terror among the foreign evil gods. I have been contemplating this treasure for hundreds of thousands of years, yet I still feel so far from truly comprehending it. The Black Demon Pavilion master frowned, staring at a map in front of him. Nearly 200,000 years ago, he acquired this treasure from the secret realm before him and had been continuously contemplating it ever since. It was through contemplating this map that the Black Demon Pavilion Master's strength made significant leaps, eventually making him one of the most potent evil gods in the region, establishing the Black Demon Pavilion and commanding a vast number of foreign evil gods. But even with his current strength and status, the Black Demon Pavilion Master was still somewhat dissatisfied because he sensed a great secret within the map before him. And no matter what, he just couldn't fully grasp it. Could this treasure be related to the legendary 9th stage evil gods? The Black Demon Pavilion Master wondered. The growth of foreign evil gods is divided into 9 stages. The 9th stage is legendary, and an evil god that grows to this stage is said to be the dominion over all foreign evil gods. Their power can sweep across the vast and boundless void. For now, The Black Demon Pavilion Master is only an 8th stage evil god. While only one stage separates him from the 9th stage, the more he practiced and grew, the more the Black Demon Pavilion Master realized how distant the 9th stage was. The Black Demon Pavilion Master had a faint feeling that the gap between the 8th and 9th stages was far larger than all the gaps from the 1st to the 8th stage combined, and by a large margin at that. As the Black Demon Pavilion Master continued his contemplation of the map before him,
Suddenly,
his expression changed. The demonic eye and myriad tentacle stream I sent out were suppressed. Being in command of a large number of subordinates, the Black Demon Pavilion Master was naturally the first to know everything that transpired outside the Tianqing world. I knew that there was a great secret within that world. In just a few 100,000 years, it had surged its world origin by tenfold. It seems it's really so. The Black Demon Pavilion Master's eyes flickered with a hint of red. Most of his energy and time were spent contemplating the map in front of him, which was why he had the demonic eye and myriad tentacle stream take over the Tianqing world. It seems I need to make a trip there myself. The Black Demon Pavilion Master carefully put away the map, then slowly rose to his feet. Considering that the existence inside that world could easily deal with the demonic eye and myriad tentacle stream, it must be no simple place. With my power alone, I'm not fully confident about taking it down completely. Thinking this, the Black Demon Pavilion Master immediately started contacting some friends. While true friendship doesn't exist among the foreign evil gods, they occasionally cooperate with each other for mutual benefits. The friends that the Black Demon Pavilion Master called upon were also among the most powerful evil gods in the region, with strength at the same level as his own. In the eyes of the Black Demon Pavilion Master, with his power alone, there was no certainty in facing the entity within the Tianqing world that suppressed the demonic eye and myriad tentacle stream. But with the help of several friends, it would undoubtedly be foolproof. Back in the Tianqing world, inside the martial hall, time swiftly passed by 3 or 4 days. In these 3 or 4 days, Lin Yuan had successfully recovered to the 10th stage martial Tao. There was no way around it. In the Tianqing world, Lin Yuan's advantages were too great. Recovering strength was merely a matter of accumulating energy. Nothing could be more straightforward. Not to mention anything else. Just the infinite world origin contained within the martial ancestor golden body was enough to allow Lin Yuan to rapidly cultivate from the 1st to the 9th rank peak. The stretch from the 9th rank peak to the 10th rank took just a little half a day for Lin Yuan. Recovering to the 10th rank martial Tao's strength hadn't surprised Lin Yuan. For him, returning to the 10th rank martial Tao was a matter of course. Even if he had descended into worlds other than Tianqing world, recovering to the 10th rank martial Tao would have been just a matter of time. What Lin Yuan was truly looking forward to was that after these 3 or 4 days of nurturing, the divine ability imprint deep within his body had finally taken shape. Lin Yuan's 5th physical body divine ability was about to emerge. I wonder what aspect this newly condensed physical body divine ability will entail? Lin Yuan ceased his cultivation, focusing intently on the subtle changes deep within his body. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 13 World. Subscribe, please. Thud. 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 Lin Yuan's heart beat slowly, each pulsation sending blood to his limbs and throughout his body. For a powerhouse at Lin Yuan's level, the heart was more than just a simple organ. It gathered a vast amount of energy, and the so-called beats were not quite accurate, more like throbs. It was the origin of the physical body, the foundation of the physique. The martial ancestor golden body that Lin Yuan had cultivated strictly according to human standards became increasingly solid with every throb of the deep-seated information or imprint within his bloodline, until it was fully formed. An indescribably complex divine ability imprint was born, boiling all the bloodline power throughout his body. With the newly born divine ability imprint, Lin Yuan seemed to see the very beginning of the Tianqing world's creation. even scenes before its birth, like an epic unfolding. The construction of the most minute aspects of the world, any change, all poured into Lin Yuan's mind. The birth of a world? Lin Yuan watched, utterly fascinated. In the main universe, eighth-layer evolvers created inner worlds within themselves. But this creation wholly relied on the spatial-temporal structure of the main universe. It was akin to establishing an incredibly similar world on the template of the main universe. Subsequently, evolvers who understood the rule of time, wielding space and time, considered their inner worlds independent and complete. But no matter how independent or complete, they originated from the main universe. It's like a baby born from its mother, detached from the womb, yet everything about it comes from the mother. And to create a complete world from nothing, without relying on any mother, even an 11th rank life couldn't do it. Perhaps only a supreme being would have hoped to achieve this. Replication is easy. Creation is the most difficult. But now, as Lin Yuan watched the condensation of the divine ability imprint at the deepest part of his bloodline, he faintly saw the process of a world being born from nothing. Your insight is against the heavens, observing the birthmark of the world. Your understanding of the essence of the world elevates. Lin Yuan was absorbed in observation. Time is unknown. The divine ability imprint within the depths of the bloodline contracted, and a stream of information emerged from it. My fifth physical body, divine ability. Lin Yuan's spirit shook, and he immediately began to observe the information flowing out from the divine ability imprint. Compared to the 4 previous divine ability imprints Lin Yuan had manifested, the one that had now condensed revealed the most grandeur by far, even involving scenes from before the Tianqing world's inception. These were scenarios that Lin Yuan, as the heavenly Tao of the Tianqing world, couldn't trace back to, but they appeared in his mind after the physical body divine ability was consolidated. Physical body divine ability, world. Lin Yuan quickly understood his 5th physical body divine ability. This divine ability's might was immensely powerful. Once deployed, with Lin Yuan at the center, it would form a world as large as his inner world. Simply put, this divine ability could transform Lin Yuan's inner world into an outer world for a short time. It wasn't a mere shadow of a world or the force of a world. It was an actual world enveloping everything. With Lin Yuan as the master of the world, he could easily control the entire origin power of the world, and any move he made would be amplified 10-fold or 100-fold. The enemies, on the other hand, would be suppressed by the world itself, their speeds plummeting, their strength dropping drastically, weakened in every aspect. This is outrageous, truly outrageous. Even with high expectations for this physical body divine ability, thinking it might become his strongest, Lin Yuan was still inexplicably shocked after learning of the divine ability, world, and its details. Because this divine ability was simply defying heaven. As everyone knows, when are the combat powers of main universe's 8th layer or higher powerhouses at their strongest? By triggering forbidden secret techniques? By wielding powerful weapons?
No.
None of these. It's when they are within their own inner worlds. That's when their combat power is at its peak. In an inner world, one can command the tremendous force of the world itself, achieving home ground suppression. The inner world of an 8th rank being is such that even 9th rank and 10th rank beings wouldn't dare to enter lightly. Even with the might of a 10th rank, within an 8th rank's inner world, the vast origin power of the world cannot be suppressed. But what if the 8th rank being detonates their inner world? The terrifying explosion of the world's power is fully capable of severely injuring a 10th rank being. An 8th rank injuring a 10th rank, such a preposterous thing would normally be considered absurd, but if a 10th rank being entered an 8th rank's inner world, it becomes quite possible. However, the home ground advantage of an inner world is strong, but somewhat useless. Unless there's imposing disparity in strength, it's nearly impossible to ensnare an enemy within one's inner world. You have your inner world, so do I. Just need to similarly awaken the power of the inner world, neutralize each other, and you can resist being drawn in. It's like two magnets with the same polarity. Even if one magnet is many times larger than the other, they repel each other due to same polarity, and under normal circumstances, they can't stick together. And when 8th rank powerhouses or 9th rank powerhouses engage in battle, it's usually by crushing the external parts of one's inner world. As for crushing from the inside, everyone's not a fool. How could they easily enter another's inner world? But Lin Yuan's newly born world, divine ability, could instantly condense an outer world. No matter if you're willing to enter or not, it directly places the surroundings under the domain of its own world, turning any place into a home ground favorable to oneself. Of course, the divine ability world isn't without its drawbacks. It doesn't last long, probably only about 6 seconds. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 13 World. Subscribe please, _2. But even that couldn't hide the heaven-defying nature of this divine ability. 6 seconds was enough to do quite a lot. To be trapped inside an opponent's inner world for 6 seconds at the same level of power? It's hard to imagine how many times one would be squeezed and squished. That's too exaggerated. Lin Yuan's eyes slightly heated. Compared to the previous 4 physical body divine abilities, the divine ability, world, was purely offensive. Once the outer world has formed, Lin Yuan couldn't move. He could only try to defeat the enemy within the maintenance interval of the world. In contrast, even the divine skill, enhancement, had aspects for preserving life, like triggering enhancement to escape using increased speed. However, I like it. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. The divine ability, world, depended entirely on one's own inner world, because the conjured outer world was based on the inner world as its foundation. The stronger the inner world, the stronger the conjured outer world. And the inner world, that was Lin Yuan's strongest advantage. Although the depth of space was temporary, the sheer size alone was more than 20 times that of his peers in the main universe. They more than 20 times referred to the diameter, and if converted into volume, it was indescribable how many times more it was. This physical body divine ability was simply tailor-made for Lin Yuan. The most powerful application of the divine ability, world, is self-destruction. Lin Yuan thought rapidly. If he couldn't defeat his opponent in the first 5 seconds, then he would self-destruct in the 6th second. Although the outer world strictly followed the standards of the inner world, it wasn't the inner world itself, but a replica quickly condensed by the divine ability, world, using the inner world as a template. The size and power were consistent, but it wasn't the same entity. Self-destruction of the outer world didn't mean self-destruction of the inner world. If Lin Yuan eventually triggered the self-destruction of the outer world, at most he would suffer some backlash, a price much lighter than self-destruction of the inner world. Self-destruction of the inner world was essentially a desperate move that meant mutual destruction, whereas self-destruction of the outer world only resulted in some backlash. The gravity of each choice was clear at a glance. With the foundation level of my true body's inner world, once I self-destruct the conjured outer world, even the 4 divine kings and other 11th rank perfections of legendary life forms would undoubtedly die, Lin Yuan thought privately, and I would only suffer some backlash? This was still considering Lin Yuan was at the 10th rank. If he were promoted to tier 11 and once again subjected to chaos void origin infusion, his inner world's foundation would skyrocket. At that time, the power of self-destruction he could generate from the conjured outer world was beyond Lin Yuan's imagination. Such a move, I can only use once. Lin Yuan was well aware. His true physical form's inner world in the main universe reached a size of 200 million square miles. Therefore, the conjured outer world was of this range as well. For an 11th rank powerhouse, if they figured out the essence of this move, staying over 200 million miles away from Lin Yuan would be possible. The attack range of an 11th rank powerhouse was counted in light years, so a distance of over 200 million miles was trivial. Of course, easier said than done. Lin Yuan could completely conceal his presence. infiltrate within 200 million miles of the enemy, then strike with the divine ability world. Next, the most important thing is to thoroughly comprehend this divine ability imprint. Lin Yuan's expression grew somewhat solemn. Only by fully comprehending the divine ability imprint could he take it to the main world and imprint it on his true spiritual body. The contribution of this divine ability to Lin Yuan's combat power goes without saying. Even if it meant sacrificing the time to understand the spatio-temporal fusion rules, he had to fully comprehend this divine ability imprint first. The spatio-temporal fusion rules could be comprehended anywhere in the main universe, or even in other traversed worlds. But the world divine ability imprint could only be comprehended through this martial ancestor golden body. Outside the Tianqing world, the boundless expanse of the void, the Black Demon Pavilion Master and 3 friends were hastening toward the Tianqing world. An immense and terrifying aura emanated from these 4 outer domain evil gods. All along the way, despite the vast distances, it caused the hearts of other outer domain evil gods to tremble. Is that the Black Demon Pavilion Master? Apart from the Black Demon Pavilion Master, there are also 3 equally powerful evil gods. What could have happened? Wasn't the Black Demon Pavilion Master in closed cultivation? The Black Demon Pavilion Master must be heading to the Tianqing world. Previously, 2 members of the Black Demon Pavilion fell within the Tianqing world. Numerous outer domain evil gods watched from afar. The influence of the Black Demon Pavilion Master was just too great, instilling fear in many outer domain evil gods. Moreover, the fact that he was traveling with 3 other powerful evil gods only added to the concern. Black Demon, what secret does that world hold that you're taking it so seriously? Indeed, what is it that requires us all to go together? Black Demon, you can decide if we join forces, but we can't go on a fruitless trip. The 3 friends of the Black Demon Pavilion Master exchanged thoughts rapidly as they continued toward the Tianqing world. As outer domain evil gods, they were not known to rise early without cause, expecting them to help the Black Demon Pavilion Master seek revenge for free? Absolutely not. Don't worry. The secrets contained in that world are substantial, enough to rapidly increase the power of the world origin. As long as we take down that world, I am willing to share this secret with you. The Black Demon Pavilion Master glanced at his 3 friends and continued, Moreover, I can let you join me in entering that void's secret realm afterward, to explore the opportunities within together. Good. It's generous of you, Black Demon. I will definitely help you with this revenge. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 13 World. Please subscribe. _3. The 3 outer domain evil gods were overjoyed upon hearing the news. For the time being, let's not talk about the secrets of the Tianqing world. They were quite envious of the void secret realm that the Black Demon Pavilion Master was guarding. However, since the Pavilion Master held the key to that secret realm and wouldn't lead the way, they definitely couldn't enter it on their own. Upon hearing this, the Black Demon Pavilion Master did not respond, but continued to head towards the Tianqing world. About the secret of the Tianqing world? Greatly enhancing the origin power of the world wouldn't cost the Pavilion Master anything more, even if another evil god knew of it. As for that void secret realm he was guarding, even without the matter of the Tianqing world, the Pavilion Master was already planning to invite the other 3 evil gods inside. In the tens of thousands of years, the Pavilion Master had explored that void secret realm and had reached a bottleneck. From now on, it would be difficult to achieve anything there by his power alone. Therefore, teaming up with the other 3 evil gods to explore was almost inevitable. Soon, the Pavilion Master and the 4 outer domain evil gods stopped and gazed into the distance at the Tianqing world. Is that the world? The origin of the world is indeed abundant. It looks delicious. The other 3 evil gods examined the Tianqing world closely. As evil gods, they naturally could sense the level of a world's origin power. And the Tianqing world, right now, definitely could be described as succulent. Black Demon, what should we do now? Since you called us here, you command. The three outer domain evil gods, though eager to devour the Tianqing world, also understood that forcing the Pavilion Master to call them meant it was no ordinary world. And this collaboration was led by the Pavilion Master himself. They were just here to assist, tempted by the lure of the Void's secret realm. They all kept to the rules. No need to approach that world, just attack from here, said the Pavilion Master. The Tianqing world itself, although filled with abundant origin power, was bound by its own world and couldn't actively attack areas outside of itself. In other words, they just needed to attack from a distance, and the Tianqing world would be a sitting target. This was the confidence with which the outer domain evil gods dared to consume worlds. The world's intrinsic source of origin power was definitely much greater than that of an individual evil god. But alas, the world couldn't fight back on its own. This was akin to the difference between herbivores and carnivores. No matter how formidable the size of an herbivore, it couldn't resist a carnivore. No problem. The three evil gods nodded. Tianqing world. In the depths of the martial hall, Lin Yuan was sitting cross-legged, comprehending the divine ability, world imprint. The Pavilion Master is coming on his own initiative? Lin Yuan glanced outside the world. With the statue imbued with power from the Pavilion Master, Lin Yuan could easily pinpoint the Pavilion Master's location using causal sensing. So, from the Pavilion Master starting his move to approaching the Tianqing world, Lin Yuan was acutely aware. And he brought three evil gods with him? Lin Yuan immediately sensed the aura of three evil gods outside the Black Demon Pavilion Master. Perfect. I can try out the divine ability world, Lin Yuan thought to himself. Even if the Black Demon Pavilion Master hadn't come, Lin Yuan was planning to try to activate the world divine ability to familiarize himself with the control details. Compared to experiencing the divine ability world, dealing with the four most powerful outer domain evil gods in this area, including the Black Demon Pavilion Master, was purely incidental. As for exposing the secret of the world divine ability, the strong beings in the main universe have avatars. Since Lin Yuan's world divine ability couldn't completely kill the opponent, it was possible it would be discovered. But those four evil gods outside? According to Lin Yuan's causal sensing, the opponent didn't have any avatars. As long as he completely eliminated them, there was no risk of exposing any secrets. Deep within the boundless void, the outer domain evil gods were also paying attention to the Black Demon Pavilion Master and the other three evil gods. The Black Demon Pavilion Master is really cautious, not planning to get close to the Tianqing world at all. Naturally, inside Tianqing world lie great horrors. The demonic eye and myriad tentacle stream couldn't even escape, so naturally, the Black Demon Pavilion Master will not underestimate it. Indeed, attack from a distance. Just wait until Tianqing world is breached. The great horrors within will naturally reveal themselves. The numerous outer domain evil gods were discussing swiftly, eagerly awaiting the scene after the Black Demon Pavilion Master and the other three evil gods tore open Tianqing world. In the eyes of all the evil gods, the fate of Tianqing world was almost certain. With the Black Demon Pavilion Master and three other powerful evil gods taking action and being so cautious, there was no possibility of Tianqing world escaping unscathed. Begin the attack. Don't hold back at all. Between the 18 arms of the Black Demon Pavilion Master, terrifying energy fluctuations were subtly converging while he instructed his other three friends. The four evil gods working together could completely tear open Tianqing world in no more than a moment with their full strength. You see, previously just a power sculpture of the Black Demon Pavilion Master was able to tear a huge crack in the barrier of the Tianqing world. Now personally taking action, and together with the other three friends, tearing open Tianqing world was nothing short of certain. That's for sure. The three outer domain evil gods also quickly began to take action. Even a lion using all its strength to hunt a rabbit, these evil gods, who had emerged from endless slaughters, naturally understood this principle. However, the next moment, The gaze of the Black Demon Pavilion Master and the four evil gods changed. The void was vast. At this moment, they were no longer in the boundless void, but had come to another world. What is this? The face of the Black Demon Pavilion Master drastically changed. Being in this world, he was completely unable to sense the aura of the boundless void, as if cut off. The other three outer domain evil gods felt the same. However, before the Black Demon Pavilion Master and the four outer domain evil gods could react, the overwhelming force of the world crushed down. The physical souls of the four outer domain evil gods shook. With no power to resist, their consciousness plunged into darkness, and soon, together with the surrounding world, they all shrank into the Tianqing world. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability: Creating and Teaching the Tao in Various Worlds. Chapter 14, The Mysterious Map. Subscribe, please. A more distant boundless void. Many watching foreign evil gods almost believed they were witnessing an illusion. In their view, the Black Demon Pavilion Master and three other powerful evil gods were about to attack the Tianqing world. Suddenly, they vanished. Here, vanished means completely disappeared, without even a trace of their aura perceptible. What's going on? Where are the Black Demon Pavilion Master and the others? Why did they just disappear? Initially, the foreign evil gods instinctively questioned. But moments later, more and more of them realized. Either the Black Demon Pavilion Master and the three others had been completely suppressed, or they had already fallen. Otherwise, there wouldn't be such an inexplicable disappearance without any signs. This speculation made every foreign evil god's scalp explode. When Demonic Eye and Myriad Touchstream were trapped in the Tianqing world, they could still understand what was happening. Myriad Touchstream was extinguished, directly suppressed. Demonic Eye tried to escape, but half of its body was pulled back by a giant hand that extended from within the Tianqing world. But what about the Black Demon Pavilion Master and the three powerful evil gods? What happened? All the foreign evil gods could not understand what had exactly happened. What's more critical is that, compared to Demonic Eye and Myriad Touchstream, the Black Demon Pavilion Master and the other three were unimaginably more powerful. Their silent disappearance, without even causing a ripple, deeply chilled the other foreign evil gods. Inside Tianqing world, countless martial Tao cultivators were celebrating the salvation brought by martial ancestor. Thanks to the propaganda of martial hall, all beings within the world knew that it was their revered martial ancestor, whom they had worshipped for hundreds of thousands of years, who had dealt with the existence of Demonic Eye and Myriad Touchstream. However, what the beings inside the Tianqing world did not know was that just recently, the Black Demon Pavilion Master and other three beings far surpassing the earlier two evil gods were also casually dealt with by martial ancestor. The whole process did not cause any disturbance. The Black Demon Pavilion Master and the three powerful evil gods, in the presence of Lin Yuan, did not even have the ability to struggle or resist. Deep within Martial Hall, Lin Yuan was carefully understanding every detail of when he had used the Divine Ability world. That instant, the Divine Ability imprint used my physical body as the base, connecting in all directions, forcibly turning everything in the boundless void into my world. Lin Yuan was somewhat shocked. Compared to secret techniques, activating a divine ability does not require comprehension. Lin Yuan only needs to stimulate the imprint representing the divine ability world inside him. Of course, if Lin Yuan could fully understand the imprint of the world divine ability, it would mean transforming this ability into a form of secret technique that he can comprehend, thus enabling him to bring it to the main universe and use it with his true primordial spirit. I feel that with each use of the divine ability world, my understanding of its imprint deepens, bringing me closer to full comprehension. Lin Yuan thought pensively. Directly viewing the world Divine ability imprint to understand it fully is indeed something Lin Yuan can achieve with his against heaven's understanding, but actively stimulating this divine ability and observing its interaction with the surrounding heaven and earth more evidently accelerates the comprehension. Activating the world divine ability once consumes a lot of energy. With my current strength, without affecting my powers, I can probably activate it once every 2 days. Lin Yuan stroked his chin. It's a pity the power generated from self-destruction is just too great. Otherwise, I could have tried it. Lin Yuan felt a bit regretful. Lord, what should we do now? The kneeling evil god below couldn't help but ask. In the three-een void domain, the lord of the three-een was the absolute dominion. The disappearance of the black demon pavilion master, one of his subordinates, was equivalent to a slap in the face of the lord of the three-een. To command more evil gods, the lord of the three-een would occasionally act to help subordinates avenge themselves. Solely relying on absolute strength could not make all evil gods completely submit. At times, it was necessary to show favor and benefits. What to do? The lord of the three-een looked troubled. Regardless of whether the entity that struck against Black Demon Pavilion Master was a 9th-stage evil god or not, it was undoubtedly stronger than the lord of the three-een himself. Tell all evil gods within my three-een void domain to avoid that area. After a moment of silence, the lord of the three-een immediately commanded. With such an entity appearing in his domain, the lord of the three-een felt helpless and could only restrict his subordinates as much as possible to avoid provocation. Avoid that area? Upon hearing this, the other evil gods below exchanged glances and immediately realized that the being who had struck against Black Demon Pavilion Master must be of immense strength. Otherwise, the great lord of the three-een would not back down. Just over a month had passed. Lin Yuan's true body and the two primordial spirits' inner worlds had already reached their zenith, each spanning 2.3 billion miles. Those vaguely watching evil gods, they've all disappeared? Lin Yuan's thoughts flickered as he looked beyond his world. Ever since he had returned to the Tianqing world, with the invasion of Magic Eye and Myriad Tentacle Stream, Lin Yuan had felt the sensation of being watched from a distant location. Other evil gods must be eyeing the Tianqing world. This was quite normal. To the evil gods, the Tianqing world was like a delicious meal, even after the incident with Black Demon Pavilion Master and the other 4 evil gods. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 15 Void Creatures. Subscribe, please. _3. Other evil gods realized that the Tianqing world was not easy to provoke, but despite their inability to defeat it, taking a mere glance was extremely normal. However, Lin Yuan now keenly noticed that even those prying eyes had vanished without a trace. What a pity! Lin Yuan felt somewhat regretful. He had originally planned to enhance his strength to the limit and then send out his 2 primordial spirits to sweep through the adversaries. Having killed the Black Demon Pavilion Master and 4 other powerful evil gods, Lin Yuan tasted the sweetness of victory, and though the other evil gods might not be as affluent as them, they were at least better than nothing. Is it related to the lord of the three-een? Lin Yuan guessed in his mind that only the high and mighty lord of the three-een, remembered by the Black Demon Pavilion Master, could command so many evil gods at once. Now, it's time to properly enhance the Tianqing world. Lin Yuan slowly stood up. For over a month, he had devoted most of his energy and attention to comprehending the world, divine ability imprint, and the spatio-temporal fusion rule. As time passed, Lin Yuan increasingly felt the limitations the Tianqing world imposed on him. As the master of the world, the Tianqing world could not possibly repel Lin Yuan, but there was a huge disparity between their levels. Especially as his inner world reached a dimension of 2.3 billion square miles. It was like the relationship between a sword and its sheath. The sword, just with its sharpness and aura, could easily tear the sheath apart. They didn't quite match. With my current comprehension of the world's essence, Enhancing the level of Tianqing World should not be difficult, Lin Yuan silently thought. Now that Tianqing World had become his backyard and his stronghold, elevating its level would allow it to accommodate more martial Dao cultivators. And Lin Yuan would also feel more comfortable within it. There were only advantages and no disadvantages. Martial Ancestor. Greetings, Martial Ancestor. As soon as Lin Yuan stepped out of the martial hall, the High Priest Qing Yao and other elders of the Tianqing World bowed respectfully to him. Lin Yuan nodded and calmly said, "I will be elevating the world level next. Pay attention during the process." Before the echo of his words faded, Lin Yuan disappeared from the spot. In the high skies of Tianqing World. Here, space twisted as Lin Yuan stood tall, overlooking the entire Tianqing World. From this perspective, the diameter of the Tianqing World exceeded 1 billion miles, seemingly vast, but clearly a bit cramped for a 10th-rank summit life form like Lin Yuan. Expand, expand, expand. With a single thought from Lin Yuan, the origin source of the entire Tianqing World suddenly boiled and began to massively absorb the energy from the boundless void. The limitless power, which even evil gods couldn't directly absorb, rushed into Tianqing World, causing it to rapidly expand. The land stretched, the oceans widened, and deeper in the oceans, new lands were born. During the proactive guidance to elevate the world's level, Lin Yuan gained a lot as well. With every expansion of Tianqing World, his understanding deepened. Your comprehension is extraordinary, leading the expansion of the world, enhancing your grasp on the essence of the world. In just a few days, Lin Yuan's comprehension of the world, divine ability imprint increased by 1/10, a progress that would normally take decades under regular contemplation. Now it's about right. Lin Yuan slowly ceased his contemplation, looking towards the Tianqing World that had expanded tenfold. Has the spatio-temporal fusion rule reached the third realm? Lin Yuan raised an eyebrow. Before attempting his 10th traversal, Lin Yuan's comprehension of the spatio-temporal fusion rule was close to the peak of the second realm. Now, by actively guiding the expansion of the Tianqing World, he had advanced the spatio-temporal fusion rule into the third realm. It's a pity. Even worlds have their limits. Lin Yuan sighed inwardly. Tianqing World managed to expand tenfold in just a few days, mainly due to the accumulation over hundreds of thousands of years under the management of the ancestral demon tree and its constant slow enhancement up until now, finally bursting forth. It was also related to Lin Yuan's own realm, his understanding of the world divine skills, and his comprehensive insight into the spatio-temporal fusion rule and numerous other fusion rules, which were all integrated into Tianqing World. Following this, for Tianqing World to continue expanding, Lin Yuan's realm needed to improve further, along with a certain level of inherent accumulation. Anyway, it was not something that could be achieved in a short time. Outside the martial hall, the High Priest Qing Yao and many of the Tianqing World elders had witnessed the entire process of the world's transition. The world has changed. The sky has risen, the earth has thickened, and the space has become more vast. The many elders swallowed nervously. Even though they had long regarded the martial ancestor as their ultimate faith, their hearts were still overwhelmed by the shock when they witnessed this scene for themselves. After elevating the level of the Tianqing World, Lin Yuan returned once more to the depths of the martial hall. Now, it feels much more comfortable. Lin Yuan's face wore a smile, for the Tianqing World could now at least accommodate him. Indeed, for Lin Yuan, the boundless void was more suitable, but as the heavenly Tao of the Tianqing World, being within the Tianqing World was the safest for Lin Yuan. With the support of the world's origin source from the Tianqing World, Lin Yuan's combat power was at its strongest. You go to that void's secret realm. Lin Yuan looked towards the Taiyang divine spirit, took out the scroll, and handed it over. Now that the two primordial spirits had completely absorbed the liquid inside the mysterious gourd, reaching their peak level, they were ready to be dispatched. The void's secret realm was highly valued by Lin Yuan, hence he sent the Taiyang divine spirit there first to see what was unique about it. As for you, go and seek more worlds, spreading martial Tao. Lin Yuan looked towards the Tien primordial spirit, the boundless void, filled with myriad worlds. And these worlds were Lin Yuan's best targets for disseminating martial Tao. Besides, while searching for more worlds, the Tien primordial spirit could also hunt some evil gods for research purposes. As for Lin Yuan himself, naturally, he stayed to oversee the Tianqing world, commanding everything. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fableversodio@gmail.com. Comprehension Ability. Creating and teaching the Tao in various worlds. Chapter 16, 300 years later, subscription requested. Lin Yuan's true body was stationed at the Tianqing World Headquarters, while the two primordial spirits set out to explore separately. This was the safest method. Both the Taiyang Divine Spirit and the Tien Primordial Spirit were nearly as strong in combat power as Lin Yuan's true body. Even if they were to perish, the true self could condense them with a single thought. There was nothing more secure. Though the layers of the boundless void were inferior to the main universe, Lin Yuan never underestimated them. At least the 9th stage evil gods, in legend, could pose a slight threat to him. Whoosh, whoosh. Under Lin Yuan's watchful eyes, the Taiyang Divine Spirit and the Tien Primordial Spirit immediately departed from the Tianqing world. Void's secret realm? Lin Yuan's Taiyang Divine Spirit, following the coordinates on the scroll, swiftly headed towards the location of the Void secret realm. With Lin Yuan's mastery over space and time, the distance from the Tianqing world to the entrance of the Void secret realm, which took the Black Demon Pavilion Master 5 or 6 days to fly, Lin Yuan covered in just under half an incense stick's time. The Void secret realm. Even the memories of entering the realm are shrouded and cannot be transmitted outward. What exactly is this place? Lin Yuan was curious. The civilizations of the main universe could achieve similar feats, but human civilization was attended by 9 supreme beings. Also, what benefits can be gained from killing void creatures? The information within the scroll did not mention benefits, but Lin Yuan surmised there must be some. Is it the physical bodies of the void creatures themselves, some form of material treasure? Lin Yuan thought to himself. This was the most natural conjecture. Just as Lin Yuan could study the physical body of an evil god when killed, the bodies of void creatures could similarly be studied.
Soon.
Lin Yuan came to a stop. We're here. Lin Yuan gazed into the vastness ahead. But from the outside, the void in front appeared no different from the void elsewhere. Yet Lin Yuan, relying on the scroll token, faintly sensed a mysterious space concealed deep within the void. To be precise, it was the entrance to the mysterious space. That is, the entrance to the Void's secret realm. This? Lin Yuan's expression subtly changed. Even without relying on the scroll token, with Lin Yuan's space-time perception, he could detect the existence of the Void's secret realm. The more this was so, the more solemn Lin Yuan felt. He could sense that the vastness of the Void's secret realm was almost another spatial layer of the boundless void. And the entrance before him was just one of the many entrances to the Void's secret realm. Just like the Xianhuang's secret realm in the main world, this Void's secret realm likely had many entrances. If it weren't for this scroll token, I wouldn't be able to enter. Lin Yuan thought, I guess only those in the 5-layered realm of space-time fusion rules can enter the Void's secret realm without a token. Lin Yuan was astonished. Then the being who first opened this secret realm, how profound must their mastery of the fusion rules of space-time have been? 6th realm? The realm of supreme beings? Lin Yuan dared not hold any contempt. Although many secret realms are naturally formed, this Void secret realm, since it has formed a scene of entering directly with a token, definitely involves artificial factors. Let's go in and see. Lin Yuan immediately activated the scroll, and suddenly a pulling force emerged from the depths of the void, bringing Lin Yuan inside. If it were his true self, Lin Yuan would naturally not dare to enter an unknown secret realm so easily, but merely a Taiyang primordial spirit naturally could afford to take risks and explore. The next moment, Lin Yuan found himself in a vast space. Seeing no end in any direction, black mist occasionally hung in the sky. This is the void's secret realm? Lin Yuan was very cautious, immediately hiding deep within the layers of space. Inside the void's secret realm, it seemed like another boundless void, comprising many spatial layers. Where are the void creatures? Lin Yuan looked around but saw no signs of any creature's activity. Let's explore slowly. Lin Yuan began carefully, selecting a direction to delve deeper. The void's secret realm was too vast, although Lin Yuan could traverse light years in a single step when traveling. To search for void creatures, it needed to be done bit by bit. Otherwise, if there were void creatures hidden within those light years, they would go unnoticed. A month after Lin Yuan's Taiyang primordial spirit entered the void's secret realm. Lin Yuan moved swiftly, but from the outside, it didn't cause any disturbance. And tens of thousands of miles away, under a black mountain peak, a massive creature was eyeing Lin Yuan as he flew. Lin Yuan's true self hid within the many layers of space, yet this massive creature could clearly sense the aura of the many layers and pinpoint Lin Yuan's location. The massive creature slowly approached Lin Yuan. Is that the void creature? While maintaining his movement, Lin Yuan had long noticed the massive creature that was approaching him. With Lin Yuan's perception, even without actively unfolding the world's phantom, everything within billions of miles was as clear as observing patterns on one's palm, and there was no possibility of being ambushed. There is a marked difference from the evil gods. Lin Yuan secretly thought. The void creature he sensed felt no different from a wild beast, completely devoid of intellect. Even its approach to conceal its presence was done by instinct. Whereas with evil gods, although many of them occasionally went mad, they at least retained some intelligence. Here it comes. A moment later, the massive creature had already approached within 100 miles of Lin Yuan. The next moment, the massive creature stopped, no longer approaching. Lin Yuan did not strike immediately. Instead, he wanted to see what tactics the void creatures possessed. An illusory world enveloped him, and Lin Yuan's spirit will immediately fell into layer upon layer of illusions. Before Lin Yuan's eyes, the scene had changed. He was no longer in the void's secret realm but inside an imperial palace, where one enticing beauty after another approached, attempting to seduce him. An illusionary realm? Lin Yuan was unconcerned. With his capabilities, he could easily fend off these illusions without the aid of any soul defense treasures. Break. Lin Yuan's thought turned into a sharp blade, effortlessly tearing through the illusionary world before him and returning to the outside world. At that moment, the void creature was attempting to approach, hoping to strike while Lin Yuan was still trapped in the illusion. However, Lin Yuan recovered too quickly. The void creature hadn't even started to approach again when the so-called illusion was already over. If it's just illusionary tactics, then stay behind, Lin Yuan said. Knowing that this void creature posed no threat to his own strength, he directly attacked. With a booming sound, the mighty power of the world surged forth, and the space itself subtly distorted. Before the void creature could react, it was captured in the palm of Lin Yuan's hand. This void creature was at least dozens of miles in size, but under the immense spatial suppression, it became the size of a pocket edition, continuously struggling in Lin Yuan's palm. Unable to perform soul search? No specific memory images? Lin Yuan attempted to perform a soul search, but it was fruitless. The thought processes of these void creatures were as chaotic as wild beasts. They couldn't even store specific memories. Just kill it then. After studying it for a while with no gains, Lin Yuan simply followed the information in the scroll and directly killed the void creature. At the moment of the void creature's death, its physical body suddenly began to dematerialize. Lin Yuan frowned. The physical body disappeared upon death? Not even leaving the body behind? Then what's the benefit of killing a void creature? Before Lin Yuan could continue pondering, the completely dematerialized void creature dissipated into wisps of essence, which then merged into Lin Yuan's body. Lin Yuan was about to activate the power of the world to expel these unknown essences, as they couldn't be absorbed before their use was confirmed. But even the power of the world couldn't touch those few wisps of essence. In an instant, the few wisps of essence disappeared inside Lin Yuan's body. Lin Yuan seemed to feel something. Has my spirit will increased because of this void creature? Lin Yuan found it hard to believe. There were only a few known ways to increase spirit will. One was through the slow passage of ages. Another was through enduring various tortures and pains. For instance, when Lin Yuan delved into a body from a supreme being, enduring the omnipresent psychical pressure, his own spirit will also slowly increased. But such methods of increasing spirit will became increasingly ineffective as Lin Yuan's own spirit will grew stronger.
But now?
Lin Yuan suddenly discovered that, after killing this void creature, his spirit will had actually increased markedly. This was simply unimaginable. The importance of spirit will goes without saying. It is the core of the soul. The stronger the spirit will, the greater the enhancement to all aspects. And to reach the ultimate realm, a strong spirit will is necessary. Without it, one cannot withstand the backlash from the river of time. Most importantly, compared to other material treasures, an increase in spirit will can be directly taken back to the main universe. After all, when Lin Yuan travels between worlds, his spirit will is his main form. When the traversal ends and he returns to the main universe, what goes back is also his spirit will. And during this period, any enhancement of the spirit will can also be perfectly taken back. In the depths of Martial Hall in Tianqing World, Lin Yuan, who was originally practicing and perceiving, suddenly opened his eyes. My spirit will has indeed increased, Lin Yuan exclaimed, his face revealing a flash of shock. Armed with the vast compilations of information on human civilization from the main universe, he naturally knew how difficult it was to enhance spirit will. According to the experiences summarized by human civilization, one of the many threshold conditions for 11th rank powerhouses aiming for the ultimate realm is the spirit will index reaching 10 million. This is just the threshold. The higher the spirit will, the greater the aid in reaching the ultimate realm. Previously, Lin Yuan was somewhat worried about how to increase his own spirit will. Compared to special beings like the four divine kings, Lin Yuan's greatest disadvantage was being too young and having too short of a history, resulting in his spirit will lagging behind. A great opportunity, Lin Yuan murmured. That void secret realm, for me, is a great opportunity. Lin Yuan's eyes heated slightly. The main task of the Taiyang divine spirit in the void secret realm is to find more void creatures and then kill them to enhance the spirit will, he decided. Lin Yuan quickly made a decision. His true body would comprehend the divine skills imprint, world, the spatio-temporal fusion rules, and many other fusion rules. As for the two primordial spirits, the Taiyang primordial spirit will focus on searching for void creatures.